dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels, we come alive. Speed, demons through the night. Racing with all our might. With all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels, we come alive. Speed, demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Adrenaline rush we crave. Pushing past edges brave. Life in fast lane feeding fire. Tracks our only true desire. Helmet on, focused eyes. Crowds roar, reaches skies. Pit stop, seconds to spare. In this war, no place for care. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels, we come alive. Speed, demons through the night. Racing with all our might.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here for the championship race of the Premium Stock Car Racing League. As our championship event is upon us, we have 4 drivers vying for the championship here this evening. 4 drivers in competition that will look to pick up the win. They don't have to. All they have to do is beat the other 3 drivers. So that's all they got to do. They just got to, just finish in front of the other 3 championship contenders, and they will complete the amazing feat here this afternoon to be crowned our champion here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. And those 4 drivers battling for the championship here this afternoon, it's Matthew Wood, Brian Underwood, Jordan Hand, and Grant Applegate. 4 drivers heads up here this evening. Now the rest of the competition in the field, they're out there, they're looking for the win. They're looking to finish off their season on a high note as well. They may play a factor here this evening on who our champion may be. As SSJ Logic, my boy Dylan coming in showing the love. He says, racing with a broken wheel clamp. Wish me luck, everyone. Dylan, good luck, brother. Hopefully the other wheel clamp can hold on and keep your wheel in there and on your desk and everything else in the setup perfectly fine here this afternoon. And hopefully the power, everything works well for you, and see that 88 ride competing here all evening long, trying to finish off this season on a high note. As that's what every one of these drivers are vying for. They're looking to try to finish off their season, looking to try to finish things off on the high note here this afternoon. And what we're going to do is we're going to quickly see if we can try to pull our top 4 up and into the booth here for some quick little in-race interviews or pre-race interviews here. See if we can get a couple of our competing drivers in here for their pre-race interviews. Let's pull Jordan Hand in here first. Jordan Hand, we'll pull him up here into the broadcast booth, see what he's thinking going into this final race of the season, the finale here this afternoon. Hand looking for that championship. Let's pull Jordan in here to see what he's got to say about tonight's event. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jordan, man, a good run here this afternoon. Could see you being crowned as our Premium Stock Car Racing League champion here this afternoon, man. What are you looking forward to the most this afternoon? What are you hoping for, and how do you get it done? How do you pick up that win and beat drivers like Brian Underwood and Matthew Wood here this evening to put yourself into the winner's circle or potentially just the championship circle?
Man, just run my race. I mean, I feel like I say that every time. I'm sure that's the boring answer, but man, it's just the truth. I feel like this one, I feel like it might be a little chaotic. I don't know. Vegas is pretty wild. I mean, it's a very pretty easy. I hate to say it like that, but it is. I feel like everybody's gonna be on top of each other. So hopefully, we don't get ran over and get some weird front end damage like we did last week. But I just got to run our race, and at the end of the day, just hopefully we have a shot there at the end, and just keep it clean.
Absolutely. Got to keep it clean. Got to keep that car in contention all evening long. But all you got to do is beat those other three contenders. What are you going to do to beat them? Is it going to be tires? Is it going to be a fuel strategy? How do you think it's going to play out here this afternoon?
I will tell you at the end of the race. I don't know. I mean, anything could happen. I mean, we've had races where it go completely green. Then you got some where just some crazy pit strategy has happened this year. And, you just never know. So it'll be nice. Like I was telling Brian and them earlier, it'll be nice to be able to run a race and not to worry about getting stage points. So, just kind of make it to the final stage and set ourselves up hopefully pretty good and a good position to where we just focus on those final drivers and, just go from there.
Absolutely. Well, Jordan, good luck out there. Have fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth throughout the evening and maybe being crowned our champion at the end of tonight's festivities.
I appreciate it, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Jordan Hand His Hand. Currently one of those 4 drivers battling for this championship. Now let's see if we can pull a couple more of these drivers in here. We do have Grant Applegate, so let's see if we can pull Grant in here for a little in-race interview. He's not in race, but he's out there on the racetrack. He's rolling on the Speedway. A little pre-race interview here with the Red Bull number 57 ride. Let's pull Grant up here for his pre-race interview. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Grant, coming into tonight, man, one of 4 drivers able to win the championship here on the season, man. What's going through your mind right now, and how do you get things done this afternoon? How do you get that crown in being our champion here this year?
Consistency all race, I think is going to be the name of the game. 3 and 4 is really tricky at the moment. We're all having some issues with it being super tight. 1 and 2, there's a lot of bumps, so you got to be careful about those. So, yeah, just being consistent, I think, is going to really be the big factor at the end of the night.
Absolutely. Being consistent, being there at the end is exactly what Jordan Hand just sent to us as well. He didn't really get into more of the specifics, but what do you think this race is going to shape up like? Do you think it's going to be more of a tire strategy kind of a run, or do you think, the fuel may come into play? How do you think tonight's race is going to play out, and how do you finish in front of those other 3 championship contenders?
I'm hoping it's not fuel mileage, and I hope it's just we get to that final stage and we run 90 laps. Everybody, best driver wins, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Sorry.
It's all good, brother. Yeah, definitely going to be very interesting, going to be very fun. Grant, good luck out there, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the booth throughout the evening and hopefully be the driver in the championship here this afternoon, as we'll be hoping to see that Red Bull Racing ride up here in Victory Lane and in that championship lane as well.
I'm hoping so. We'll see what happens.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there. Grant Applegate gonna battle here this afternoon for that championship. Is Mama Bear Susie Dickinson. Mama Bear coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction on the broadcast. Says, hello, my boy Aaron. Hello, Mama Bear. How are you this afternoon? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Saturday afternoon. As SSJ Logic says, there isn't another one. Laugh out loud. I'm racing with the broken clamp. Oh, there isn't another one. I figured you'd have like at least 2 clamps on that thing. Dylan, you better be careful out there, brother. No yanking on that wheel. You want to be careful, okay? We know you've ran into some iRacing injuries before. I don't know how, but you seem to always do it. And hopefully here tonight you don't run into those ones. As NJB Design says, Handy is winning it. Cheering on his teammate there, Jordan Hand. As we're going to get ready to pull in another one of our competitors. Probably the driver that came in here with some of the most confidence and potentially some of the best opportunities here. Our most winning driver on the season, the 16 rider Matthew Wood. Let's see if we can pull Wood up here for his pre-race interview. Hey Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I had no idea that was coming. That just scared the life out of me. Yes, I do.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we had to scare you. We had to bring you up here as you get ready to vie and try to run this race and put yourself into a position to pick up that championship here, man. Now, being a very winning driver on the season, definitely you don't shy away from putting that number 16 right up in victory lane. Is that the game plan here this afternoon? Just run at the front and keep everyone back there behind you? Or what's going through your mind right now getting into this feature event?
Well, I need to win it for confidence reasons, but I mean, last season I had like a 90% win rate and still lost the championship. Um, and they just ran a better race than me, and I don't want to do that again because in like every single league I've been in, that's kind of been the story is, um, I win a lot, I'm dominant in the season, but when it comes to the final race, everyone's just more prepared than me. Um, but who knows? Haven't been the best the past couple of weeks. This car just doesn't really fit me, I guess. And just hoping I can do something with it. I need to be up front in qualifying, hold them off for the race. But I don't know. Grant and Jordan are very, very quick. Brian's quick as well. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, they've been saving their bets for the end, and you already trying to fuel yourself there with obviously the disappointment from last season, and now coming in here again, winning all those races, putting yourself into such a good position through each of our rounds here going into this championship 4 battle. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot of the confidence that you talked about, but being one of the winningest drivers, you got to come in here with that little bit of a chip on your shoulder that you can get it done here again tonight. But obviously running into issues here, not being super friendly with that race car. How are you going to attack this race? How do you get through this race and put yourself into that position later on?
I just gotta run consistently, make sure I don't save make sure I save my tires, not overdo it. Just try to stay ahead of everybody and not make a mistake on pit road that's silly and cost us.
Absolutely. Well, Matthew, good luck out there. Have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you up here in the broadcast booth at the end of the night.
All right, God bless.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Matthew Wood is what? Vying for the championship here this evening, and we're going to pull in our 4th and final competitor here for the championship. It's Brian Underwood. Let's pull Brian up here into the broadcast booth real quick. Hey, Brian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Ryan, man, coming into this race, one of 4 drivers that can win that championship. We've already talked to your other 3 competitors here this afternoon. They talked a lot about consistency and how they're going to run this race and what was kind of going through their mind heading into this feature event. So listen to you, man. How do you get it done, and what's going through your mind right now as you sit down pit road and get ready to roll back out there onto the racetrack for qualifying and then our final feature event of the season?
Yeah, I don't feel as confident so far with Vegas. I think it'll come to me as the race goes on. Really just going to take it very patient, make sure I keep sets of tires I might need later on, and then also make sure I have that fast repair because who knows what happens, right? So just really, I know Wood's going to be up there most of the night, and Jordan's shown speed, and Applegate's been a 1.5-mile guru all season, so it's just going to be execute as much as I can and hopefully hit the right strategies and hopefully come away with championship.
Absolutely. Now, Brian, coming into this race, obviously having a couple wins now on the season, but, being the Underwood here in this race, do you think you'll be the underdog as well this afternoon?
Yeah, I feel like my strong suits are going to be your short tracks and your super speedways. 1.5 miles really haven't been my thing this season in this Xfinity car. So yeah, I would say I'm probably the underdog. I would give benefit to Applegate and Wood for the best odds to pull it off.
Alrighty, well that's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on and see if the underdog can pick up the win. We always love to see those underdog victories here, and we're going to be hoping to see up here in either victory lane or at least in front of your other 3 competitors here to try to pick up that championship here tonight. I won't keep you much longer. I know qualifying has just gotten started, so I'll let you jump out there. Brian, good luck, have fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth at the end of the night.
All right, thanks so much.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Mr. Brian Underwood. Underwood, count himself out here a little bit, thinking he's a bit of the underdog this afternoon. For all the Underwood fans, do you think Brian is that underdog, or who do you think is the driver that will most likely pick up the win in the championship here this afternoon? We don't know him. NJP Designs is cheering on Jordan Hand. He wants to see his teammate up here in victory lane. He wants to see his teammate at least get that championship, as the victory doesn't quite mean that you will, you have to come first. You don't need to come first if you're one of those 4 competitors. All you have to do if you're Brian Underwood is beat Jordan Hand, beat Matthew Wood, and beat Grant Applegate, or vice versa between the 4 of those drivers. They just got to finish in front of them. They could finish in 5th place, but as long as they're in front of the other 3 competitors, they will still win that championship. Now, every one of these other drivers out there on the Speedway, they're looking to try to put themselves into victory lane. They want to finish off this season on a high note, and they want to make sure that they're up here in victory lane, maybe steal a little bit of the thunder, maybe steal a little bit of the, championship vibe away from our champion here this afternoon. Now, we've seen that in NASCAR multiple times at Phoenix International Speedway, and we may see it again here tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway's drivers out there on the racetrack. They are laying down their lap times here for qualifying. You do see one of our championship contenders. That is Brian Underwood. He's looking to lay down a great lap time, but right now it's Jordan Hand, the Optic Texas #1 ride, who's vying for that championship. Currently quickest here in qualifying. Grant Applegate right there behind him in position #2. Now, we did see that #1 just finish another lap, could not find any extra speed there on his 2nd lap on the Speedway. Let's take a look here at Brian Underwood and see where he can move up, as right now Underwood nice and easy down and out of corner #4 across the line. We'll see where he slides into here. He jumps up into 4th, so not too shabby there. Lap #1 into position #4 in a tough break here for Matthew Wood. His first lap, a 31:18. He is currently the slowest driver out of our field so far to qualify. We'll see if he can find a little bit of extra speed here on lap #2. He does find the extra speed that he was looking for, and he jumps into that 2nd spot. So as they stand right now, our championship 4 all within the top 5 here in qualifying. So that means things are looking very, very spicy, man. Landon Burbage, the only driver inside the top 5 that's not in contention for the championship this afternoon. And Landon is currently scored in the 4th position here for qualifying. So some great heads-up racing, some great back and forth out there. And we'll have to wait and see if, if we see someone else jump inside that top couple spots out there. And there we go, we do see it. The number 75, the M&M's machine of Kenneth Cheney. Cheney jumps up into position #3. That's going to slide Grant Applegate down a spot, and it's going to knock Brian Underwood outside of the top 5 here in qualifying. So a great run right there for the 75 ride as he jumps up into 3rd, but Jordan Hand, Matthew Wood, 2 of our championship contenders, still looking to start on that front row. As we're about ready to go here, qualifying quickly coming to a close, and we'll get ready to jump into our feature event in just a couple more moments. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's sad to see it go. It's sad to see this be the final race of the season, but the championship hope and everything else continues to build. The intensity out there on the racetrack and the nervousness, the the tremble in the voices of our championship four. All of them pretty up in the air whether or not they're going to be dominant here this afternoon or not. They all kind of have it sitting in the back of their mind that they may not be the one to get it done here this afternoon, but one of them will be in our championship victory lane this afternoon. Now, a lot of them didn't seem very confident. They seemed a little shaky. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. See who's got that best strategy. See who's got the opportunities to move through the field or stay up at the front or potentially, keep themselves out of trouble here on the racetrack. As we're going to get a quick word in here from our opening command. It's Lonnie Crider going to come in with our opening command here this afternoon.
Thank you so much. God bless everybody out there. Looking for an exciting race tonight. The last race of the season where we crown the champion for the races for all season. I'd like to thank everyone once again for everybody that's been involved in this, including the announcer, all the sponsors, and everybody behind the scenes that you don't see. It's been a great season and they've done a good job running this thing. So I'll tell you, I'd like to pat everybody on the back that done this. So once again, thank you so much. This is Lonnie Crider saying it's been great to be your Grand Marshal. Thank God every day for everything he does for it. So good luck tonight. Good luck who wins the championship. God bless everybody. Merry Christmas, and put God first, and you'll never have to worry about anything else. So gentlemen, one thing left to do. Start those engines and let's go racing and let's have a good time tonight.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Lonnie Crider coming in with our opening command here this afternoon as we started this season with Landon Burbage giving us the national anthem here, and we're going to finish the season off on the same note. So please, rise and remove your hats as we play our national anthem. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as our premium Stock Car Racing League series finale is about to get started. 4 drivers battling for that championship. We got 2 on the front row. It's Jordan Hand who will start in the pole position, and Matthew Wood to his outside. They're in position number 2. Kenneth Cheney there in position number 3 with our 3rd championship driver starting there in 4th. It's Grant Applegate. Landon Burbage will start there in 5th, and to his outside our 4th and final championship driver. It's Brian Underwood there in 6th. Dylan Carrier, Noah Blackwell, Nathan Brookover, and Jonathan Gaston are top 10 with Jaden Porter, Melvin Brenger, Josh Crider, Ryan Haller, William Connolly, Farrell Robbins, Ben Gleason, and Chris Getz rounding out the field as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as championship night is upon us here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Quickly, Jordan Hand, one of our championship drivers, on to the loud pedal and looking to clear that 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood looking to try to stay strong. There it is, outside. We'll see if the one ride can find the run he's looking 4 out of corner number 2. If he can jump up and clear the 16, he cannot out of corner number 2. So we'll stay door to door down the back straightaway into 3. Both drivers vying here for the championship this afternoon. And here comes our other 2 championship contenders. Here comes Grant Applegate. Here comes Brian Underwood, door to door down across the line. It's Jordan Hand who will lead lap number 1. But it's not the first lap that's going to matter the most. It is that final lap for those 4 drivers out in front who will be the leader at the time, not of the race, but of those 4 contenders as they battle here for a championship. Heads Up Racing. Whoever beats the other 3 will be crowned our champion here this year. As Jordan Hand and Matthew Wood continue to battle door to door here on the racetrack. My boy Kevin Timmy, what's good, Kev? Kev coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Kev? How you doing this afternoon? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Saturday. As there you go, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Hand finally able to creep up and slide in front of the 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood will go into that second spot nice and easily and right back to the rear bumper of Jordan Hand. Hand will now look to see if he can try to keep him back there, but the more that these 2 race door to door, the more they battle here at the front of the field, maybe the more they burn up their equipment. Brian Underwood now from 6 up and into 3rd now on the Speedway, so he's already moved around one of his other championship contenders in a pair of our non-championship contenders here this afternoon. So Underwood showing some good speed, working his way towards the front as Applegate back there in position number 4. He's the farthest back right now of our championship 4 drivers as Dylan Carrier there in position number 5. Landon Burbage back there in 6. Kenneth Cheney back there in 7th with Noah Blackwell. Jonathan Gaston and Josh Crider are top 10 here on the Speedway. And it's all Jordan Hand and Matthew Wood here at the front of the field. Wood taking another peek and a good run down low here on our race leader. Matthew Wood going for the race lead. He sends it deep down low into corner number 3 and out of 4. He'll come out of it with that race lead, and Matthew Wood will lead his first lap of the afternoon. So he jumps up and takes the lead away from the one right of Jordan Hand. Move Hand back into position number 2. Here comes Underwood, and here comes Applegate. 2 of our other championship 4 here at the front of the field, looking to try to go after this one machine as well, looking to try to move around him as they're starting to feel a little bit of pressure as here comes Dylan Carrier. Carrier putting the pressure on him. He said in the YouTube chat that he was going to pick up the win here this afternoon, and he's looking pretty fast. He's looking pretty solid out there on the Speedway. Now, Noah did say more like going into the wall, not going for the win. I got a good kick into that one right there, Noah. That was a pretty good one, as it would definitely suck, and it would probably be pretty fitting for poor Dylan's season here so far, as he's had some tough luck. He's ran into some very bad breaks, especially in crucial times, and that's why the 88 right is not part of our championship 4 here this afternoon. But being able to jump up here and battle with our championship 4 and maybe pick up the win here this evening, really putting him into a position as a top runner for next year. Now, he did come up only a few spots shy, a couple of points outside of that championship 4 looking in here. And he's hoping to see if he can be that driver to jump up and contend and battle here with these guys, as he's right there on their back bumper. As here comes Brian Underwood. Underwood looking underneath the Jordan Hand. They almost make a little bit of contact right there. Great save out of both competitors, but the 6th ride of Underwood going to have to get out of the throttle there on quarter exit, and that allows the 88 of Dylan Carrier to get around him and go right to his back bumper, or the bumper of his teammate here on the Speedway. Landon Burbage now around the 6th machine, as well as Landon jumps up into 4th now. He's trying to catch up and try to get to the back bumper and try to help his teammate there. Matthew Wood at the front of the field as Underwood slides back to 5th. Kenneth Cheney now there in 6th, and Grant Applegate slides back to 7th. So Applegate, who's been a bit of a ringer here on the 1.5 miles this season, starting to slide backwards now. I'm not sure if that's by design or if that's just, you know, the car's starting to fall off a little bit for the 57. Maybe pushed it a little bit too early on and pushed it a little too hard, and I'm starting to feel the pain of those tires starting to fade away here on that 57 machine, as tires could become a major factor, especially as the sun starts to go down. The sun is going down, but the lights are turning on here in Las Vegas, as each and every one of these drivers looking to cash in here this afternoon. They're looking to hit that jackpot here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway in our championship night. Matthew Wood leads the way with Jordan Hand there in second. Dylan Carrier back there in third with Landon Burbage. Brian Underwood, Kenneth Cheney, and Grant Applegate are fourth and farthest back. Championship 4 competitor there in seventh. Noah Blackwell there in 8th. Jonathan Gaston there in 9th. Josh Crider finds himself up 3 spots on the speedway and inside our top 10 here on the racetrack is Melvin Brangler back there in 11th. Ben Gleason already up 5 spots here. The Oscar Mayer hot dog ride up into position number 12 here on the speedway, and currently he is the hard charger here on the field, so he's looking to continue on that pace and continue on looking to slide his way up throughout the field as Jaden Porter back there in the 13th position as Ryan Haller working down low. Haller looking to take that 13th spot away from the Sim Racing Center, number 74. As we do see Nathan Brookover back there in 15th, Farrell Robbins there in 16th. A beautiful paint scheme here tonight for the 25 of William Connolly. As Connolly sporting a new looking paint scheme, and this is a very beautiful How the Grinch Stole Christmas paint scheme here this afternoon. This car is looking very, very fresh out there. I'm loving the Christmas vibes. I love the Grinch. Such a great movie, such great characters in that movie, and it's great to see that Christmas spirit coming out here this afternoon for Mr. Connolly. Unfortunately, he's just a little farther back in the field, currently scored in that 17th position as Chris Getz still off the racetrack. Now, Chris is loaded into the sim here, but has not joined the field for this main feature event. Is out in front, Matthew Wood starting to stretch out that race lead. Wood now out in front by 7/10 of a second. Jordan Hand started to slide back, but so isn't everybody else. Then Matthew Wood find another gear and now is trying to disappear here on the speedway as he's looking to try to pull away and keep all these drivers back there at bay and put himself up and into the winner's circle. Now, unfortunately, for all these competitors, even if they are in front, even if they do open up a big lead at this point of the race, we have stage breaks. Lap number 30 in lap number 75 is where we will see stage number 1 and stage number 2 come to a close. So even if you do gain that big lead, you know, it's not really going to help you too much. None of these drivers need stage points. Stage points are non-existent. It's just part of this race here as the series runs the stages, but points are not on the line. They don't have to worry about those, so you can kind of play around, maybe try to run a little bit of a different strategy. We've seen it time and time again, especially here on the 1.5 speedways and some of our short track packages where the drivers will come down pit road, they'll get the fuel that they need for stage number 2 to be able to make it throughout that stage, but maybe not taking those tires. Maybe try to save that extra set down pit side where we've seen other drivers before get those fresh tires at the end of stage number 1. They use them, get to the front of the field, maybe pick up the stage win or earn the points that they've been looking for. Unfortunately, here tonight, no points on the line. It's straight up racing for our top 4 champions. As we'll get ready to see them continue to battle out there door to door and nose to tail here all afternoon as Landon Burbage jumps up into 3rd here. Applegate now back inside the top 5 as he jumps up into the 4th position. Kenneth Cheney right there with him as Brian Underwood still back in position number 6. Dylan Carrier's the one driver now outside the top 5 as the 88 machine slides back into position number 7. And here you go. Here comes Cheney now trying to look underneath of the 57 of Grant Applegate. He's going to make that move and take over that 4th position. So Landon Burbage there in 3rd. Cheney now into 4th. Applegate, Underwood back there in 5th and 6th. So our top 2 competitors here for the championship still out in front. Matthew Wood, Jordan Hand, they're looking for that championship. They run at the front of the field. Now Grant Applegate and Brian Underwood are bottom 2 drivers as of right now in our championship hunt. Matthew Wood out in front. He's looking to just continue to stay consistent out here. Not trying to make any mistakes. Not trying to push that car too hard. He's kind of settled in here. with that 0.7 of a second lead. So he's really just trying to play that gap now where he can take it a little bit easier, maybe give a little bit on a lap, take it back on the next, and kind of play with that gap between himself and Jordan Hand. Now, obviously, he doesn't want to see Jordan go around him here for the rest of the night, but even if he does, it's not going to be the worst thing ever. But really, what these drivers are trying to do is just trying to survive, get themselves to the end of the stage where they can come down pit side, get the fuel that they need, potentially the tires that they may need, and hop back out there for another stage, which doesn't really mean much. You just got to keep yourself clean and green and just try to keep yourself out of trouble if you're one of our Championship 4 drivers. You just do not want to put yourself into a position where you can get tied up in somebody else's mess, somebody else's wreck out there on the racetrack. And that's exactly what Matthew Wood and Jordan Hand are trying to do here at the front of the field. Is Burbage back there in third, and then you see Grant Applegate again trying to take his 4th place starting spot back away from the 75 of Kenneth Cheney. Cheney trying to hang on to that 4th position as he was just down low looking to try to find a way underneath of Landon Burbage. Couldn't quite get the run that he was hoping for, and that's what's opened the door here again for the 57 to try to work back to his outside. The 6 of Brian Underwood as they battle door to door in front of him. He has closed that gap, and he's right there in the fight here as well as our 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place drivers. You can throw a blanket over them here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Jonathan Gaston and has now worked his way up into position number 7. A great run so far for the Gaston's iRacing Graphics number 72 ride. Dylan Carrier continues to slide backwards here as he's now back into 8th. Ben Gleason continues to work his way towards the front. He's marching up there in a quick hurry up 8 positions already. Now looking for his 9th position as he's trying to get around this number 88 of Dylan Carrier, and it does look like Carrier with a little bit of right front damage here, so potentially that car starting to fade away. Looks like he's gotten into the outside fence, and he's trying to just hang on to that car, hoping to get down pit road and get some work done to it here during our caution break for the end of stage number 1. As here comes his teammate there in the Premier Racing Setups number 9 ride. It's Noah Blackwell that now rounds out our top 10. Brent Brewer still there in 11th with Ryan Haller back in 12th. Errol Robbins, Nathan Brookover, Josh Crider, our top 15 with William Connolly there in 16th. Jaden Porter back there in 17th on the racetrack. Is Matthew Wood out in front. He's looking to try to pick up stage win number 1. Now, there's no points on the line, but trying to get those stage wins as my boy Bubba, I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. My boy Bubba coming in with the 100-bit donation coming in, setting it off here in this one with the big D of the day, the big donation of the afternoon, coming in showing the love here this afternoon. As Bubba says, just chilling, trying to get into some smoked ribs. Brother! Oh God, that's gonna be absolutely amazing. I wish I had some smoked ribs. Bubba also says, lost my NASCAR virginity at Vegas, my first race ever. I'm glad it was your first race ever, not something else there. I wasn't sure if somebody was putting something somewhere there, Bubba. That was going a little shrine there for a second, but I'm glad you got the back end of that one right. As I thought for the life of me there, maybe your back end was not getting right. As I'm just kidding, I'm just messing with you, Bubba. As that's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty cool. Vegas as your first race, that's not a bad place to go, man. I'm more of a short track guy. Obviously, growing up at the local dirt tracks and everything else, and running dirt track racing, you know, that's kind of where my heart is. Obviously, NASCAR doesn't really run any kind of dirt races anymore. I mean, the trucks may have one once a year or something like that still. I'm not too sure. But if I'm going to watch a NASCAR race, I want to watch all 3. I want to see all the 3 top series. You know, I want to see the trucks. I want to see Xfinity. I want to see Cup. You know, maybe not all on the same day, but, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of deal. And obviously, I want to go to a short track, man. I got a soft spot for Bristol. I really like, you know, Martinsville as well. Those are the kind of tracks that I would like to go to. Now, I haven't been to one yet, so I haven't lost my NASCAR virginity, but it may have to happen here one of these days as first and only so far. Bubba says first and only NASCAR race. Hey, man. That's pretty cool. Vegas seems like a hot spot, man. I would love to go to Vegas at some point in time in my life. Now, I may have a mild gambling addiction or be at least a gambling enthusiast, so I don't know if me and Vegas would mesh very well. I feel like I would lose a lot of money there, so I may have to save up a lot extra there for that one. As he says, oh, don't start that laughing loud. Right, we had free tickets to Cup. I bought truck tickets. Didn't get to see the Xfinity race that weekend. Hey, 2 out of 3, still not bad. Still not bad. And sometimes the Xfinities don't run Vegas at the same time as these guys do. I don't know. They've kind of got different schedules there for all those guys. I used to like it when they all ran like the same tracks kind of on the same weekend, but now there'll be like, you know, Cup will be at like Talladega, and Xfinity will be maybe at Dega, and then the trucks are at like Mid-Ohio or something like that, or some random other racetrack, or you'll see Xfinity in Iowa, Cup at Martinsville, and the trucks at Martinsville, or the trucks at some other racetrack. So I'm not a huge fan how they split them up and send them all over the place anymore. I kind of liked it when they were all kind of right there together, and you can see all 3 of them. As we're going to see stage number 1 come to a close here. Lap number 30 off the board. There is the caution flag, and our first stage is going to come to an end as the 16 rider Matthew Wood does pick up that first stage win, but reeling into his back bumper was Jordan Hand right there in second. Applegate back there in third. Now our 4th driver in this championship race, Brian Underwood, kind of falling back here, sitting in that 6th position. Couldn't really figure out a way to get back around Applegate, Cheney, or Burbage right there. So out of our 4 competitors for this championship, Brian Underwood, as he said early in this race, he thought of himself as maybe the underdog here this afternoon. And for Underwood, he's looking to try to prove everybody wrong here this afternoon. And we'll have to wait and see what kind of some of the strategy may be here for these drivers and what they're going to do down pit side. Do they get tires? Do they save them till the end? Is it worth it, or do you think maybe the older tires and the fall off is going to be too much? As I think these guys are going to have to come down pit side, man. I feel like you got to use as many fresh sets that you can here in this race. I mean, yes, it'd be nice to have that extra set for later on. You could really use it to your advantage, but right now the fall off has been virtually 3 seconds, over 3 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds of fall off. So I mean, with a lap 31, we saw the caution flag come out for the stage break. Lap 75 is when we'll see stage number 2. So I mean, that's a lot of laps. That's 40 laps or so right there. That's more than what we ran in that first stage, and half of that fall off, I think you go a lap down. So I think you got to come down and get fresh tires. I don't think you can stay out there on the racetrack and not get them. There you go. You start to see all these drivers get jacked up there on the right-hand side as all these crews going to work. They're going to slam a set of fresh tires onto these cars. So looks like the strategy here, at least in this one, kind of out the window. And it looks like it's going to be a drag race off of pit lane, and it's Grant Applegate who's going to gain 2 positions here on pit road. Applegate goes from 3rd to 1st. Here on pit road, Jordan Hand will come out still in 2nd. Cheney will stay there in 3rd. Landon Burbage there in 4th. Brian Underwood will move up here. He'll jump into position number 5 here for the restart, as one driver in our championship did not get the pit stop he was open for here. The 16 of Matthew Wood. Let's see if we can play this back and take a look at Matthew Wood. As he came in as our race leader. He won stage number 1, but this unfortunate break here down pit road comes out in 9th. We'll have to wait and see. He just wasn't back onto the throttle as quickly as everybody else. You see all those other drivers get right around him, and the Racers for Christ number 16 ride goes from 1st back to 9th. That's a tough break right there for Matthew Wood, as we can pull Matthew up here into the booth after picking up that stage win, having a good run there in that first stage, then having that tough pit stop. See if we can pull him in here. Actually, we're about to go back to green flag racing, I do believe, chat. Yeah, lights are off. We're not going to pull him in. Lights are off, so we need to make sure that we don't ruin his opportunity or lose his focus out there on the racetrack. So we're not going to pull him in as of yet. If we get another quick caution flag, we'll pull him in for that one. But for right now, we'll keep that question in the back of our mind. As Dylan Carrier in the chat says, "Darn, Wall gave me suspension damage." No, Dylan, brother. The car was looking so fast, man. We saw you get into that outside fence and kind of drop like a rock there throughout the middle of that first stage. And now with that right front suspension damage, definitely not what you're looking for here this afternoon. But hopefully you get a couple more pit stops, a couple more opportunities, maybe under the caution flag to get that 88 right down pit side. Even if you got to lose some track position, try to get that car repaired and back into one good piece and see if you can battle your way back up to the front of the field like you did at the start of stage number 1. As we get ready here for stage number 2, drivers getting ready to go back to green flag racing, and we got ourselves a new race leader. It is the 57 of Grant Applegate. Applegate down through the Geico restart zone. He will put that throttle down, and he quickly jumps out to a pretty solid advantage down into corner number 1, as he's going to drag Kenneth Cheney right there with him as the M&M's Toyota ride will jump up into second. Jordan Hand will quickly slide back to third. Not the restart that he was hoping for, as here comes Brian Underwood and the 2-rider Landon Burbage trying to get right back to his rear bumper, but the 16 of Matthew Wood restarted back there in 9th, and quickly he's already around a few drivers and now trying to work his way back inside the top 5 here on the Speedway. Now what he may be doing is using those fresh tires up a little bit too soon, maybe trying to drive through them here a little bit too quick, and that may hurt him in the long run here at the end of stage number 2, but he's just trying to work his way up through this traffic, now kind of stalled out there in that 6th position as he gets a big bump there, a big push down the back straightaway from the 72 of Jonathan Gaston. Gaston right there on his back bumper, but out in front, it is this 57 of Grant Applegate. As Mama Bear cheering on the number 16 of Matthew Woods. Has come on Matthew Wood, the number 16 here this afternoon. Mama Bear cheering him on here in this one, man. That's absolutely amazing. We love Mama Bear up here in the chat and cheer on her favorite driver of the Premium Stock Car Racing League, Matthew Wood, out there on the speedways. Wood, one of those championship contenders. He's going to roll around one of his other championship battlers here this afternoon, the 6th rider, Brian Underwood. Underwood slides back to 6, Wood back up inside the top 5, as he's looking to try to hunt down his other 2 competitors here, the 1 rider, Jordan Hand, and Grant Applegate. As Applegate, Hand, Wood, and Underwood all battling for that championship here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who do you guys think will pick up the win, or at least who will pick up that championship? Who do you think will be that car out in front and being crowned our champion here this afternoon? Will it be Grant Applegate? Will it be Jordan Hand in this number 1 Optic Texas NJBDesigns.com ride? Or will we see Matthew Wood, the most winning driver here this season in the Racers for Christ at number 16 ride, pick up the championship here this afternoon? We talked to him pre-race about how last year was the same situation. He won majority of the races. He was the most winning driver last season. Came into here for our championship race and unfortunately could not get the job done. Now does he get snake bitten again here this afternoon, or does he finally get that taste of victory in the triumph here of being our champion in the Premium Stock Car Racing League? I know the underdog, or at least as he classified himself, the underdog here this afternoon, it's Underwood, our 4th and final driver competing for that championship, now currently scored in the 5th position. He's got all 3 of his competitors still in front of him. He's been back here kind of battling behind those guys for majority of this race, but we've seen some sparks out of that 6th run. We've seen some good quick laps out of him, and he definitely looks like he's got a car. If he's here at the end, he may have an opportunity to put himself into the winner's circle. As Applegate continues to lead the way, Jordan Hand now into 2nd, but look at Applegate. He's opened up a pretty sizable lead, 2 seconds now between himself and Jordan Hand. So that's a pretty good advantage out there on the Speedway, man. As they take a look right there, there's that gap. He's got a pretty big lead between himself and our second place driver. Now, the big question is going to be, is he using up his equipment? Is he going a little bit too hard, a little bit too early here at the start of this stage? Are some of our other competitors maybe kind of laying back a little bit, maybe trying to take it a little bit easier on their equipment here and trying to use that to their advantage or to their strategy here late in this race? As Jordan Hand back here in second, Matthew Wood up and into third. So our stage 1 winner, one of our competitors here for the championship, he's on the move after that bad pit stop, found himself all the way back in position number 9 for the restart, and he's already up 6 spots and now finds himself back inside the top 3 and looking to see if he can try to hunt down this one ride once again and see if he can work himself around Jordan Hand for the second time here this afternoon, as he was initially the driver to make that first pass at the front of the field, as he was able to jump up and take that race lead away from the one ride. But now we've seen a couple different drivers up here at the front of the field, and one that they're all chasing. Applegate out in front now by about 2.3 seconds, so he's actually stretching that lead out more and more and more as well. So Grant Applegate maybe playing a little bit of a different strategy here, a little bit of a different ball game for the number 57 ride here this evening, as he's about to head down across the line. We will see about 30 more laps left to go here in this stage. So 30 more laps left to battle out there on the Speedway for our second stage of the afternoon. Now, stage number 2 ends at lap 75, the completion of lap 75. So that means, these drivers, they got a lot of time. There's a lot of laps here. There's going to be a lot of tire fall off. And when we see these tires start to slide away, the handling of these race cars get very, very treacherous. They get very tight, or they get very, very loose, where we could see one of these drivers, even our Championship 4, could potentially put themselves into a tough situation and run into an issue. You go for a slide, you kind of turn around, or you get up into that outside fence, it can damage your car all night long, where it may not be repairable, and you may have to deal with that and try to race with a damaged race car. So you don't want to put yourself into that situation. So we'll have to keep an eye on who's coming, who's going, and who's going to have the car best here at the end of this race. Is right now early on in the second stage, Applegate's looking very, very strong. He's looking very fast, but unfortunately, how long will it last, as he's already starting to see that gap shrink between himself and Hand. His Hand now closing that gap up quite quickly. It's 1.8 seconds now between first and second. Matthew Wood back there in third. Now he had to work his way through that traffic rather quickly here, making those moves, trying to run door to door with a lot of those competitors. And unfortunately for him, maybe just using up those tires a little bit more than he would hope for, or maybe now he's trying to get into that save mode. He finds himself solidly, maybe a little bit more comfortably here in that third position and up mid-pack, where he can kind of feel a little safer here, knowing that he's got some faster, better drivers, or at least not better drivers, but maybe a little quicker drivers here this afternoon around him that he can try to work with a little bit more, and know that there's less likely going to be an issue out there for that 16 ride. So I have to keep an eye on that, as Dylan Carrier looking to hunt him down, as Brian Underwood back there trying to hold on to that 5th position. It's him and Kenneth Cheney right there, door to door. Cheney ends up getting into the outside fence there on corner 4 exit, and that scrummed off a lot of speed. Hopefully not too much damage here for the 75 ride, but those are the incidents that we were talking about here that sometimes are just not in your control. You got nothing to do with it. You're just minding your P's and Q's, trying to make a pass, try to work yourself around somebody. They make that mistake, and it could hurt you in a quick hurry. We could have saw that 75 ride bounce off the outside fence, could have came down, tagged that 6 machine, and could have put Brian Underwood into a tough position rather quickly. But those are the things you can't dwell on. You got to put in the back of your mind, you got to be just focused on running your race and hoping that nothing like that happens. And we hope for all of our Championship 4 that we see nothing but good green flag laps being done here this afternoon, where we can see them really just race it out, battle it out here. Who's got the best car? Who's got the best strategy? Who's got the best driver ability here this evening to put themselves into that victory lane, or potentially just the championship here this afternoon? as Applegate continues to lead the way. The gap is down to about 1.5 seconds here. So Jordan Hand's 8 away, about a second of the 57's race lead, and he's starting to run quite a bit slower lap times than our rest, pretty much the rest of the field here, at least the rest of our top 5, top 6 drivers all running last time quicker than the 57 machine. So maybe using up those tires a little bit too early, maybe starting to come back to hurt him here. We still got a lot of laps left to go in stage number 2. It's Jordan Hand back there in that second spot. Matthew Wood, Dylan Carrier, Brian Underwood are top 5. Landon Burbage back there in 6th with Kenneth Cheney. They're in 7th. Jonathan Gaston having himself another great day here at the Speedway. They're in 8th with Noah Blackwell and Ben Gleason rounding out our top 10. Melvin Brenger back there in 11th with William Connolly. Ryan Haller, Farrell Robbins, and Jaden Porter are top 15. Porter's got Josh Crider right there on his back bumper. Unfortunately for Nathan Brookover has found himself down pit road for an extended period of time. Now finds himself a few laps down here in the 8 machine and scored back in the 17th position. He's got to be careful as Grant Applegate only about a straightaway back there behind him and could potentially put this 8 right another lap down. But here you go. He's going to make his way back down pit side. So more issues here for this 8 machine as he does head down pit side once again. There goes our race leaders. He's going to fall even more laps down. A heartbreaker there for Nathan Brookover, looking to just try to finish off the season on a high note. And unfortunately down pit side with issues here for the 8 machine and the Gaston's iRacing graphics ride. Is out in front. Applegate continues to lead the way as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here in the middle of stage number 2. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver, and let us know in the comment section right now, who do you want to see pick up this championship? Who do you want to see be crowned our champion here on the year for the Premium Stock Car Racing League? You got Grant Applegate out in front, Jordan Hand there in 2nd, Matthew Wood back in 3rd, and then you got Brian Underwood rounding out our top 4. Here is our 4 championship drivers all inside the top 4 right now. Who will get it done? Who will pick up that championship here this afternoon? As we're going to crank it up, I'll be right back in just a few short moments as I'm going to get a drink, go to the bathroom real quick, and then we will get ready to see how stage number 2 comes to a close. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session right there during our second stage of this race as green flag pit stop starting to get underway here. Drivers headed down pit side. Great Applegate down pit road right now. We already saw Jordan Hand make his way down pit side there in the number 1 ride. So Hand making that green flag pit stop, and a few other drivers have already made their way down pit road as well as stage number 2, slowly but surely coming to a close here. Obviously, drivers could not make it that entire distance of stage number 2 without coming down pit road. Now, this is where the big question's going to be for the hit or miss on the strategy. Now, some drivers came down a little bit earlier than others. Other drivers stayed out a little bit longer. As about 2 laps between Jordan Hand and Brian Underwood. Underwood, with that 2-lap fresher tires, he's starting to hunt down that number 1 ride of Jordan Hand. Matthew Wood back in position number 5. Now we did see Applegate stay out a little bit longer here in the 57, finds himself all the way back in position number 10. And here comes our current race leader, Jonathan Gaston, down pit road, and Kenneth Cheney also down pit side in the 75 ride, and that will bring Jordan Hand back onto the lead lap, a spot that he likes to be, and that will put him back at the front of the field here. A stage number 2 quickly about to come to a close here. Lap number 75 will see this stage come to an end as Jordan Hand nice and easy down in through our tri-oval and down across the front nose here of the 71 or 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston is Gaston down pit side getting his car serviced. He's going to give up that race lead, so he forfeits it. He's fallen back throughout the top 10, staying out there a little bit longer than everybody else, and unfortunately, he lost a lot of time right there and a lot of track position, and that looks like he may be potentially being held here. Maybe a pit road infraction for the 72 ride, and that's going to be detrimental here to his afternoon. Did not want to see that issue, and unfortunately, he may fall a lap or 2 behind here as there goes Jordan Hand to put him a lap down. So that's going to put Jonathan Gaston definitely behind the ball here to finish this stage. It's Jordan Hand out in front. Brian Underwood there in second. They're just looking to get this stage done. They're looking to try to put themselves into a good spot to start stage number 3. Underwood says, you know what, I wouldn't mind leading a couple laps. I wouldn't mind showing us, or showing everybody that he's not the underdog here this afternoon. Looking for the race lead and the championship lead here this afternoon is Noah Blackwell. Finds himself now in position number 3 with Matthew Wood back there in 4th. Dylan Carrier, our top 5. Ben Gleason there in 6th with Grant Applegate making his way around Landon Burbage for position number 7. So Applegate, the farthest back of our championship 4 here in this one. Matthew Wood there in 3rd. And Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand continue to duke it out here at the front of the field as stage number 1 going to come to a close here in just a couple more laps. So things are finishing up here rather quickly this afternoon. Laps are being laid down in a quick hurry. We've only seen one singular caution flag here to finish off stage number 1, and we will see a caution flag here to finish stage number 2, but so far potentially only 2 caution flags for stages here in this race, and that's exactly what our championship 4 want to see. As you do see Jordan Hand looking to try to put this fine ride of Josh Crider a lap down. Crider trying to keep himself there on the lead lap. Unfortunately, he will fall back to a lap down. Now gets up into the outside fence. A tough break right there for that number 5 ride, as I do believe that's also going to put him multiple laps down and now even more damage there to his back end. As here comes Underwood. Underwood's trying to find a way back around this number 1 ride at Jordan Hand. He was going to the inside, to the outside, back to the inside, and he's looking to try to pick up stage win number 2. Is down across the line. That will be the completion of lap number 75, and Jordan Hand will pick up that stage win, but it didn't come without a fight as Mr. Underwood was right there trying to take that stage win away from him. Let's see if we can jump up here and pull our stage 1 winner in, or stage 2 winner up and into the booth here. Let's see if we can pull him up here real quick. Hey Jordan, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jordan, midway through this race, how you feeling, man, after picking up stage win number 2? You've been up at the front of the field, you've led some laps, and look to be a pretty strong car here throughout the evening, man. How you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I mean, definitely could have done a little bit better there off getting off pit road. Probably wouldn't have been as tight there with Brian, but other than that, man, I feel pretty good.
Absolutely. Now we've seen a couple of your other competitors have a little bit different strategy here, staying out a little bit longer. You know, do you think that's going to be the strategy late in this race to maybe try to short pit, or to try to stay out a little bit longer here and use up those tires a little bit more?
Man, I really just don't know. Knowing my luck, it'll probably be like a late race caution, and people that saved a set, it'll probably end up winning them the whole race or something like that. But you know, it is what it is, and we'll just see what happens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, brother. Well, we see you headed down pit side. We don't want to make you mess up here on pit road, so we'll hop out of here. But good luck out there, and congratulations on picking up that second stage win of the afternoon.
I appreciate it, boss.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, get up there for Jordan Hand. His hand out in front, continue to lead the way, and continue to try to see if he can put himself into victory lane and picking up that championship here this afternoon. Back there a little farther behind him, you did see the number 2 rider, Landon Burbage, misses pit stall right there. Went a little too far, had to stop that car and throw it into reverse, and that's going to hurt Landon there quite a bit down pit road, as Jordan Hand is the first car down pit side, and he is the first driver off of pit road. Ryan Underwood going to stick right there with him. Same with Noah Blackwell. Matthew Wood will come out in position number 4. Ben Gleason up inside the top 5. So Gleason's good day continuing to pay off here for him, as the Oscar Mayer Hot Dogs ride up 12 positions and now finds himself inside the top 5. Have yourself a day. Ben Gleason is Dylan Carrier back there in position number 6. Hopefully he's got that right front damage fixed up here. He did come into the chat talking about how he's got a little bit of right front suspension issues after getting up into the outside fence himself. Hopefully the crew was able to do a little work right there, quickly turn a couple of wrenches and try to help him out there on the speedway. As Landon Burbage back there in that 7th spot. Then we see Melvin Brangruer, Ryan Holler, and William Connolly here in this one. As Top Crump says, who are the Championship 4 contenders? The Championship 4 is the number 1 of Jordan Hand, our current race leader. The 6th rider, Brian Underwood, who sits there in position number 2, is another one of our Championship 4. The driver sitting in position number 4, the 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood, also one of our Championship contenders here this afternoon, in our 4th and final Championship driver is the 57 of Grant Applegate. Applegate, not the pit stop he was hoping for right there, as well, as he finds himself now stationed back in the 11th position here for the restart. So he finds himself the farthest back of our 4 drivers battling for the championship here this afternoon. And this is a tough spot, man. Kind of back there mid-pack, kind of right there in the middle of the field. This is a really dangerous position, especially on a restart where you don't know the drivers that you're really running with. You haven't really ran with them in a little while. You don't know how their cars are handling, where you can get close to their back bumper, where you can try to get your moves to get around them. If they make a mistake, if you make a mistake, being in that mid-pack, you could run into some issues in a quick hurry here on the speedway, as we'll get them all ready to roll here once again, as Jordan Hand out in front. We'll see the official iRacing pace car head down pit side, and we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Our final stage of the season is upon us, as these drivers look to cash in on the championship here this afternoon. Jordan Hand with a great restart, quickly clearing the 6th ride and bringing his teammate Noah Blackwell right there with him down low in that inside lane, as Blackwell may try to play a little bit of blocker here and trying to keep himself off the back bumper of Jordan Hand. Now, through the grapevine, we've heard before in the past where Noah has gotten into that number 1 ride, unfortunately hurt Jordan Hand's opportunities at picking up championships before, so hopefully we don't see any of that happening here this evening. So hopefully the 1 rider Hand can keep himself out of love. As Top Crump says, nice, good luck to them visiting from Outcast Racing League. We love that. We appreciate you coming in and showing the love from Outcast. As he says, check out a championship race before our own. Yeah, 100%. Hey, this is, doing a little bit of research, trying to figure out maybe a little bit of strategy. Luckily enough for the Outcast guys, Daytona, our championship race again this year, really isn't that much of a strategy race itself. You know, it's kind of a luck of the draw. Just gotta be there at the end, keep yourself out of trouble. Mile and a half's a whole different ball game. You gotta have a fast car, you gotta have a good car, and you gotta worry about that fuel saving, the tire saving, and the whole 9 yards. As you see, Jordan Hand continuing to lead the way, but Matthew Wood quickly taking a look down low underneath of him here in this one is Wood looking to go back to the front of the field. After that mistake down pit side, after picking up stage win number 1, he fell back to the 9th position. Throughout that stage, he was able to work himself back up inside the top 5, but unfortunately, he's kind of battling hard right now, and this is a situation that some of our other drivers are going to love to see. And they continue to battle door to door. They don't go single file here. They may burn up their equipment and fall back a lot quicker than they're hoping for here, as Matthew Wood does clear the one right, and Jordan Hand does fall back into second. Now has Noah Blackwell, his teammate, right there behind him on his back bumper. Brian Underwood back there in position number 4. Dylan Carrier, another one of the NJB Designs drivers here in the field, and another one of the teammates there to Jordan Hand, now scored in that 5th position. He'll look there in position number 6, making his way back up through the field after having a tough pit stop there during the end of stage number 2. Brand Applegate up into that 6th position on the Speedway, now battling door to door with the 66 of Ben Gleason for that 6th spot, as Gleason trying to get back around him here, but a good recovery there by Grant Applegate as one of our championship drivers. He found himself all of a sudden outside the top 10, but now looking to try to work his way back up inside the top 5 as he works down low underneath the 88 of Dylan Carrier. Carrier trying to keep himself out of the outside fence right there. Luckily enough, able to avoid any contact, but does lose quite a bit of momentum on corner exit, and he loses 2 positions. 1 to Applegate, 1 to Gleason, and now here comes Landon Burbage and the 99er Ryan Haller. Haller, one of those drivers that we talked about here throughout the last few weeks. He's come on strong. He continues to get better each and every one of these races, and we can see him continually become more and more of a threat out there on the racetrack as the 99 machine finds himself there in position number 9 on the racetrack. As my boy Josh Peacock coming in, setting it off, the big mother fluffing D of the day. Big man, oh man, Josh mother fluffing Peacock coming in with the 500-star dono, setting it off here in this one, brother. I appreciate that, coming in, showing the big love with the 500-star dono here this evening, man. Huge shout out to my boy Josh Peacock. Let's get some hashtag Peacocks up in the chat. Actually, let's get some hashtag P61, ladies and gentlemen. P61 for my boy Josh Peacock, as that's his racing number, P61. See them up in the chat here this afternoon, chat. We need to see P61s flying through the chat, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Facebook or Twitch, as my boy Peacock coming in and setting it off once again here this afternoon. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What's going on? Josh Motherfluffin Peacock coming in with another 1,735-star dono, the biggest motherfluffin' D of the day, the biggest motherfluffin' D of the week for Mr. Peacock. Says, have the rest. Brother emptying his star account over there on Facebook and blessing us here with the big donations here this evening. We're going to pin that one right there. Absolutely insane, Josh. I appreciate you, brother, coming in. Show the big love, not once, but twice here this evening, and we appreciate you, man. Much love, Mr. Peacock. And listen, we got to get together. We got to get something going here for maybe a Christmas race, maybe a little bit of a fun run for all the drivers over there, the Bulletproof Motorsports Series. I've been really itching, wanting to try to put on like a bit of an off-road truck race. I think it'd be really fun, man. I do love the off-road trucks, and they seem to pull in a good crowd, so maybe we can get something in the works for that. And if you got time, if you want to throw in something on a random day somewhere, we can try to work something out and get you a day and get something going for the Bulletproof Motorsports crew. As he's thinking, I'm thinking something on the Friday after Christmas. The Friday after Christmas. What day is that? I don't work on Fridays and stuff like that. Friday I am free, so that should be good actually. I think I should be good. I'm just not sure on what actual date that is. Is it like the 27th, 28th, something like that? This should work for me. Should be pretty good. Mama Bear with the hashtag Joshua coming in, showing the love there to Mr. Josh. The 27th. All right, yeah, I could probably make that work, man. I don't think I got anything planned for the 27th, so I should be good. I knew I had something on the 29th, so I was hoping that wasn't the date, but I think that's the Sunday. I think we should be good. So if you want to get something together, you want to put something on, man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, my boy. 100%. You know I'll be there. You know I'll be there. As out in front, Jordan Hand continuing to lead the way here as Matthew Wood sits there in position number 2. As the cat and mouse game here for our championship continuing as our 4 drivers vying for that championship now inside the top 5 as there's Grant Applegate, the deepest of our 4 champion contenders here this afternoon, back in that 5th position. Noah Blackwell there in 4th. He's the only driver inside the top 5 that's not a part of our championship battle here this evening. As Ryan Underwood, Matthew Wood, and his teammate Jordan Hand out in front of the field continue to lead the way. As the laps continue to get clicked down here on the season, we get closer and closer to seeing that checkered flag and seeing this season come to a close as lap 93 about to get clicked off here. We're about to see lap 94 go up onto the board, so we inch closer and closer to that 100 lap area, or maybe the 26. I don't know what we can iron it out. Yeah, we can iron it out. The 27th sounds best for me. I feel like that is the Friday. I think the 27th would probably be the best because, I don't know, most people celebrate like Boxing Day and stuff like that. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Boxing Day is normally a day the families get together and stuff like that. Maybe not the general family, but the outstretched families tend to get together and do stuff. I don't know, my family used to do it. I don't know if we're still doing it or not, or if they're running it on a different day. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I can etch the 27th in on stone. I think I can do that, no problem. I'll double check, but I'll hit you up on it. I'm pretty positive you should be good. Out in front, Jordan Hand continuing to lead this race. Hand out in front. He is looking to try to pick up this championship, but he's feeling the pressure as all of his championship contenders right there behind him is Matthew Wood, putting that pressure to his back bumper. They got a little bit of a gap back to our 3rd place driver there of Brian Underwood. Applegate has the car between himself and that 6th ride as he sits back in position number 5 here on the racetrack, trying to figure out a way to get around that Premier Racing setups at number 9 of Noah Blackwell, and he also has another Premier Racing setups at number 88 at Dylan Carrier right there behind him. As here comes Ben Gleason trying to battle back towards the top 5. Same with that 75 right at Kenneth Cheney. It's Cheney back there in that 8th position trying to get around Gleason for position number 7. Landon Burbage there in 9th, and Ryan Haller rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack is William Connolly there in 11th. Melvin Brangerer back there in 12th. Farrell Robin back there in position number 13 as the Baskin Robbins 76 ride rolls there in that 13th position. Unfortunately, that mistake down pit road during the green flag conditions for the 72 of Jonathan Gaston still hurting him here on the Speedway, but he is currently sitting in that lucky dog position. The first car 1 lap down, and if we could see our first non-stage caution flag, he could be in that free pass spot to be able to get himself back onto the lead lap and right back into the thick of things to see if he can work himself back inside the top 10 here this afternoon. Josh Crider sitting in that same situation, needs a couple caution flags and a couple lucky dogs to be handed out where he is in line to get the second one as of right now and looking to try to continue on. Actually, he needs a couple lucky dogs here for the 5 ride, a pair of laps down for Josh Crider as Aiden Porter finds himself down pit side, a heartbreaker there for the Sim Racing Center number 74 as they will make you faster, and unfortunately Jaden Porter, he's not going to go any faster here in this one until he puts that car back into gear as he's parked down pit road, and Nathan Brookover, he is down behind pit wall and off of the racetrack here. And that's a tough break there for Nathan Brookover. It's a couple drivers down pit side and potentially out of this race, and open up a little bit more track here. A couple less drivers that potentially become lap traffic or potentially play a role in our championship race here this afternoon is Jordan Hand continuing to lead the way. Wood there in second. Let's see This number 1 ride, man, he's been on a mission all afternoon, but the underdog back there in that 3rd spot, Brian Underwood, he's been right there ready to pounce all evening here. And Grant Applegate now into 4th, finally finding his way around Noah Blackwell. Maybe he's got something left in the tank. Maybe he was trying to just kind of save a little bit right there. Maybe try to keep that car in better condition and then try to reel in our top 3 and put himself back at the front of our championship battle here this afternoon. As Applegate there in 4th, but Underwood called himself the underdog earlier this afternoon, and so far he's been looking pretty solid out here on the Speedway, and this time down across the start finish line. Let's jump on board and go for a lap around the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway here with the number 6 of Brian Underwood. As Underwood right now in that 3rd spot down across the line, he's carrying all that speed, all that momentum down here into corner number 1. Now off the throttle, rolling out of it, slowly coming back into it. Now you may have to fender it on corner exit to make sure you keep that rear end from going around it. He hits it perfectly there. Doesn't have to worry about the outside fence. Run a little bit lower than that. Quickly back on that loud pedal, down into 3. Once again, rolling out of that throttle. Now this corner, you're off the throttle a whole lot more as this wall at a 4 comes up to you in a quick hurry. Luckily enough, another good lap and another good run right there for Brian Underwood, and that moves him a little bit closer to the 16 ride of Matthew Wood, as it seems like Matthew's starting to struggle a little bit there in position number 2, as you do see Jordan Hand starting to stretch out that race lead ever so slightly. Brian Underwood starting to reel in our 3rd place contender. Then you see that gap between Underwood and our 4th and final championship driver, Grant Applegate. Applegate back here in that 4th spot. Now there's about a 1.5 seconds, a little bit more than a 1.5 seconds between Underwood and Applegate here on the racetrack, as Applegate's still very much in this one, man. Anything can happen, and if we see green flag pit stops here again this afternoon, those could play a vital role in who picks up the championship here this year. One mistake, one slip up, you go in 1 mile an hour too fast down pit road, you end up with that black flag, the speeding penalty, where you got to sit in your penalty box or in your pit box, you know, for a penalty, and that could be 15 seconds, could be 30 seconds, could be a minute that you have to sit there while everyone else races and competes, and you can see your championship dreams drive right out and away from your windshield. So that is one thing that's going to be playing in the back of the mind of each and every one of our competitors here in this championship, is you don't have to win the race. All you got to do is beat the other 3, and the best way to do that is make sure you don't make any mistakes. Is now Applegate now in a tough position, as he's actually starting to slide backwards here. There goes the 9 ride of Noah Blackwell back around him. The 88 of Dylan Carrier will also pass Applegate, and so won't the 75 of Kenneth Cheney. So Applegate now slides all the way back into 7th here. Things are not looking good. They were looking a little bit better there for a split second, as he was able to work himself around that 9 ride and into the 4th position, but now has a few cars between himself and the other 3 championship drivers. So we do see Brian Underwood able to also make that pass now on Matthew Wood. Wood slides back into position number 3 as Underwood there in 2nd. Now he's trying to close the gap here on Jordan Hand. We saw it there throughout stage number 2. That Underwood came on stronger there towards the end of that run. Now he did have a couple lap fresher tires than the 1 ride, but Underwood, he's been surprising a lot of drivers, I think, here tonight, man. He's been making some moves. He's been right there in the thick of things. Almost stole that 2nd stage away from the 1 ride of Jordan Hand. Now, there's no points on the line for that stage win, but it always feels good when you're able to pick up a green and white checker flag. At least know that you're the best driver at that point of the race, but I don't think any of our other top 3 or any of these top 4 drivers in our championship are going to worry about that. There's no points. It's heads up racing. You may be the best driver for the first 166 laps. The only lap that's going to matter is the 167th. Where you find yourself there will differentiate the opportunity or the potential of you being crowned a champion or not. So it doesn't matter if you lead lap 100, it doesn't matter if you lead lap 25 or you win stage 1 and 2. None of those matter. It's all about picking up potentially the win or at least the championship here, and being in front of your other 3 competitors here for that championship. And right now, Jordan Hand has been doing a great job at it, but Brian Underwood starting to reel him in here, trying to catch up to the back bumper of that one right. As I do believe we're going to have green flag pit stops here starting to come into the picture just ever so slightly as the laps continue to get clicked down. We see 110 now up onto the board. We're even closer here to the end of this race now. I believe they were last down on pit road on lap number 77. Probably went back to green flag racing around lap number 80. So we've done about 30 laps of green flag racing now. I think these guys can probably make it around 40 laps or so. So we'll have to wait and see if some of these drivers start to take this opportunity, trying to see if they can make some moves and maybe try to make a couple different strategy calls. Now, the strategy could be a winning move and it could be a losing move. And when you're talking about a championship, it's going to be a very, very tough place. Tougher than any of our other races here this year. Knowing that if you come down pit road a little too early and these guys pass you in the closing laps with better tires, then obviously the strategy doesn't pay off, and you got to keep that in the back of your mind that you made the wrong call. You made that mistake. You made that decision to make that move or to come down pit side when you did. Now, the opposite side of that is coming down too late. You run into an issue or something like that, or if you come down too early and there's a caution flag and you end up a lap or 2 down, and then you're battling from behind again. So there's so many different aspects of green flag pit stops and of this championship battle that's got to be lurking in the back of the mind of each and every one of our competitors here this afternoon for that championship as Jordan Hand continues to lead the way. Brian Underwood there in second, then Matthew Wood back there in third, and here comes Matthew Wood a little slideways there. He's got to get checked up here, coming in with a big head of steam. Hopefully he gets slowed up, and same with Applegate. Look out, Applegate was slideways there, getting down pit road as well, just barely made that commitment cone. That could have been detrimental to his afternoon as Applegate heads down pit side, coming down with Matthew Wood as he'll be the first of our drivers here this afternoon to make this. I wouldn't call this a final pit stop. I think we're going to see at least one more green flag stop here. We're still over 50 laps in this race. They got to come back down pit road at least one more time here this afternoon. Now, whether or not they decide to run this out a little longer, trying to save those tires a little bit, and then maybe trying to save a little bit on the next one. You don't want to wait too long to make that final pit stop, but maybe 20 laps left to go, 25 laps left to go, come back down pit side, kind of split these final 50 laps or so, kind of right in half, and then try to use the fresher tires more to your advantage out there on the racetrack. But I said, man, you're in a tough situation right now. If a lot of these other drivers stay out, which we do not see it, as here comes Brian Underwood. We already saw Jonathan Gaston down pit side. Same with Jordan Hand. He's been down pit road, and he's rolling back out there onto the racetrack. Same with Ryan Haller and Melvin Brengerer. But Underwood, Kenneth Cheney, Dylan Carrier, Ben Gleason, Noah Blackwell, William Connolly, all down pit side. Pretty much the rest of our field here going down pit road. And right now, by the looks of it, there you go. Here is Matthew Wood out there on the Speedway. He is now out in front of Jordan Hand by probably about 3 seconds or so. So Matthew Wood fighting potentially a penalty down pit road, which I don't know if he got one or not, or else he would have been either down there already and making an extra pit stop or not. But Matthew Wood seems to have had a better pit stop there during the green flag conditions. And Jordan Hand, here comes Hand down through quarter 1 and 2. He's hoping to stay in front of Brian Underwood and Kenneth Cheney. Here comes Cheney back up onto the racetrack. He's going to leave the room up there up high for the 1 ride of Jordan Hand. But you do see the 6 ride of Brian Underwood also leapfrogging the 1 of Jordan Hand. So Hand not having the best pit stop there. And that may hurt him. That may hurt him a ton this afternoon. He finds himself going from the front of the field now back into position number 3. He's got 2 of his competitors here for the championship out there in front of him, and one of them with a massive lead now. 3 seconds between Matthew Wood and Brian Underwood here. Underwood does have a couple laps better tires. Jordan Hand 1 lap better tires than the number 16. Kenneth Cheney with a couple lap better tires than the number 1 rider Jordan Hand. So he's actually reeling in the 1 as Underwood starting to pull away from Jordan Hand here. So, man, man, this is going to be wild. This is going to be very, very interesting to see who's going to be able to put themselves into that winning strategy. Who's going to make the right calls? Who's going to be patient enough here throughout this race as Jordan Hand continues to fall back from the 6th ride. Cheney right there, and Grant Applegate up inside the top 5 here. So Applegate using the pit stop to his advantage as well, and now he's up inside the top 5 once again. So we'll have to wait and see. Does Jordan Hand try to play this a little bit more smart? Maybe wait a little bit, try to use the tires up a little later in this run and see if he can catch back up to them before our next wave of green flag pit stops. Or what may be the idea? What's going through the mind here of a lot of these drivers? It's going to be so tough to tell. It's going to be so interesting to hear, what was going through their minds here at the end of this race on, whether or not, these penalties or these issues that they've ran into have been, affecting their brain, if they've been overthinking things, if they've, stressed a little bit more, knowing that they're currently not in front, or they're not leading the race, they're not beating those championship or here this afternoon, and that they need to get up there. So it'll be interesting to see, kind of where they're sitting, where they're thinking, what they're feeling out here on the Speedway, even just right now in this position. All 4 of them up inside the top 4. A big turn of events there. Different pit stops, different strategies here for each of our different drivers. We saw Applegate quickly make that call to go down pit side when Matthew Wood did. Now he's trying to use it to his advantage, even though Jordan Hand has a 1 lap better tire than the 57. You wouldn't think that would make a huge difference, but sometimes that is the difference maker. But Jordan Hand definitely off the throttle a lot more here than our race leader and our 2nd place driver, Brian Underwood, and even that driver right there behind him, Grant Applegate. So he's the one ride trying to save a little bit. Does he figure, okay, let's take it easy here. We gave up the race lead down pit road. Let's just take it easy, make sure we don't make any mistakes, save these tires, and hope that we can maybe use him to his strategy late in this race. Maybe you make that final pit stop for fuel. Maybe don't get tires, or maybe you only get 2 tires. I don't know if that strategy would work or not, but if you only got to run 10 or 15 laps, maybe those 2 tires would be enough to be faster than the other drivers and put yourself into that situation to pick up that championship. It's got to be sitting in the back of these guys' minds, and right now they are probably all very, very stressed. Even though they're, Matthew Wood is leading the way, I swear he's probably got to be sweating some buckets right now. He's got to be feeling the sting. He's got to be feeling that, all that pressure in the back of his mind, knowing that anything can happen. Late race caution flag, 1 simple mistake, a pit road speeding penalty, like he was very close on getting there during that last wave of green flag pit stops. Really what's going through the mind of the 16 and all of our other competitors. You do see Matthew up here in that webcam above me here as he's sitting back. He's looking relaxed here, but he's focused in. He's zeroed in, trying to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, but he does see that the gap is shrinking between himself and Brian Underwood. When Underwood came back out onto the racetrack, Matthew had about a 3+ second lead advantage between himself and that 6th ride. Only 2 lap difference on the tires, but that 2 laps could pay dividends here, as Underwood has closed the gap now to about 0.6 of a second. He is getting closer and closer to the back bumper of our race leader. Jordan Hand still back there in 3rd, and now you do see Grant Applegate going to give up a spot to the 75 of Kenneth Cheney. So Cheney back up into 4th, Applegate back into 5th, and he is the farthest back championship contender here this afternoon there in that 5th position. But Matthew Wood out in front, starting to feel a little bit of that sting here, just making sure he doesn't make any mistakes, but maybe coming down pit road a little earlier, maybe it's hurting his opportunity here, but it's going to be wild to see how this one's going to play out. It's going to be wild to see that last and final pit stop and where these drivers will hop back out on the racetrack, and who will be in that top spot, who will be in victory lane here this afternoon, who will be picking up that championship. It may not be one of our championship drivers. It may be one of the other contenders that are out there on the racetrack battling. Maybe we see Kenneth Cheney pick up his first win of the season. Maybe we see Landon Burbage get his first win. Dylan Carrier, who just got eliminated in the last round here last weekend, maybe he finds his way into victory lane are Noah Blackwell, Gleason, Haller, anyone inside our top 10 could still potentially find the run that they need or find the strategy to put themselves into this victory lane here this evening. And you guys aren't going to miss a single beat of it as we're going to quickly see these two duke it out on the racetrack. Matthew Wood is out in front, now has a mirror full of this number 6 ride. Wood and Underwood, 1 and 2 in our championship hunt, and 1 and 2 here on the Speedway as Matthew Wood trying to hold them off. Brian Underwood trying to take this race lead away as we do have only about 40 laps left to go here in this feature event. This time by the start-finish line, we get 40 laps of racing action left here this afternoon from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And this could be the pass for the win. It could be a pass for the championship right here on the line between the 16 and the 6 right. Underwood trying to find his way around him, and Matthew Wood trying to keep him back there behind him. Matthew, he knows all he's got to do is keep these drivers back there behind him, back there at bay, and he can be our champion. He does not want to be snake bitten again here this year. He was pretty sour earlier in this race. We talked to him pre-race. You could hear and he could feel the intensity and the thoughts that were going through his mind, knowing that he was snake bitten last year, had an opportunity to win that championship, fell short, and here again this year, maybe have that sour taste still in his mouth and the opportunity of losing another championship here in this championship race, maybe playing in the back of his mind. As Underwood continues to put the pressure onto his back bumper, we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here as our final Crank It Up of the season here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League about to come right at you. So crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver. and gentlemen, as the laps have been clicking down here in a quick hurry, we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag here in the season finale of the Premium Stock Car Racing League. As out in front, it's Kenneth Cheney. Cheney leads the way. Back there behind him is Jordan Hand. Now Hand playing a little bit of a different strategy, which we've seen Grant Applegate, Matthew Wood, and Brian Underwood. 3 of our 4 championship drivers already make what could be their final green flag pit stop here on the season. Now Underwood was right there behind that number 16 ride as they came down pit road. They come out right there together, but now staying out a little bit longer is Jordan Hand. We'll have to wait and see if the newer tires will pay off for the number 1 rider. Did he give up too much time out there on the speedway where it may hurt his opportunity to try to win this championship? As he goes from second all the way back here now down pit road, looking to get this car fixed up, cleaned up, fresh set of tires, and back out there onto the speedway. So he goes from second. We'll see where he comes out here as he rolls back out onto the racetrack, as so far no mistakes out of any of our drivers here inside the top 4 for our championship. There's Jordan down pit road, getting his car serviced. As soon as the jack goes down, he's back onto the throttle, back out of the pits, and quickly trying to get back up to speed as he falls down through our top 5 here and out of our top 6, 7, 8 goes around him, as that's Noah Blackwell and Landon Burbage who are able to just get in front of him there on the racetrack. As Kenneth Cheney continues to lead the way. Cheney unfortunately hasn't ran too much here this year, but the 75 ride has looked pretty fast here throughout the evening. Has looked very good out there on the speedway, and he's looking to see if he can try to put himself into a winning position, maybe a winning strategy here this afternoon. And right now he's playing a little cat and mouse with the rest of the field, as he's currently the only driver on the lead lap. Grant Applegate, one of those championship contenders. Now he came down pit road about 4 laps earlier than Brian Underwood and Matthew Wood. That was able to allow him to leapfrog those competitors. Now trying to get around Cheney, as Cheney coming down pit road, and here comes Matthew Wood back down pit side. Oh, a whole head of steam right there for the 16 of Matthew Wood. Oh no, this could be a huge mistake for the 16 ride. I'm not sure if he's going to get a pit road speeding penalty or what, but I don't know if he got a flat tire or what may have happened here. He gave up that 3rd spot to Brian Underwood, and looks like he's got some right rear damage to the 16, our first competitor for the championship, running into issues. You see that right side pretty crumpled up. That car is pretty damaged, and now he finds himself down on pit road. There goes Cheney back out there onto the speedway. Wood fortunately having to use that final set of tires up right there. He rolls back out onto the racetrack. He finds himself a lap, maybe even multiple laps down here to the rest of the field, and that is a heartbreaker for one of our championship contenders. We talked about how he was snake bitten last year in this championship race. Here again tonight, now running into issues late in this one, as he was running in a great position. As now we do see Brian Underwood make the pass around Grant Applegate. Applegate with those little bit older tires slides back to second. Brian Underwood out in front, now leading the way and leading our championship 4 as the laps continue to click down. The laps are clicking down in a quick hurry. 18 laps left to go here in Brian Underwood, who counted himself as potentially the underdog here this afternoon, now out in front and leading the way here with 17 laps left to go in our championship race, our series finale here this afternoon. Applegate slides back to second and quickly falling even farther back, now a second behind that number 6 machine. Dylan Carrier there in 3rd, and then we see Noah Blackwell back in 4th. Landon Burbage there in 5th, and then Jordan Hand all the way back here in that 6th position. Jordan Hand is not on the throttle, even though he has some of the freshest tires out there on the speedway. He has 7 lap better tires than our race leader, Brian Underwood. Grant Applegate, he's 11 laps worse tires than Jordan Hand. So this strategy here, I'm not sure if this is going to work out for Jordan Hand or not. If he's got those fresh tires, if he's got the opportunity to try to hunt down our race leader, he may want to get a move on right now, as he is currently about 7.5 seconds behind Brian Underwood out there on the racetrack. And right now, he's kind of sitting idle. You're in that 6th position. He hasn't really gained anything since coming back out onto the racetrack, even with those newer tires. So we'll have to wait and see, when is it go time? When does he put the throttle down? When does he start to try and catch our race leader, Brian Underwood, or Grant Applegate here for the championship? As it may be driving out his front windshield, he may be trying to hunt it down, but he may run out of time before he can get there. We'll have to wait and see if he can close that gap, if he can catch up to the 6th rider, Brian Underwood. Underwood still laying down some good lap times here, even with the 7 lap older tires compared to Jordan Hand. Sorry, no, they are, Jordan Hand, 4 lap older tires than Jordan Hand. Kenneth Cheney came down pit road on lap 148 from the race lead, and he's got the 7 lap better tires than Underwood, but still, those 4 laps is a huge increment. You saw how quickly Brian Underwood was able to close the gap on Grant Applegate and make the move around Applegate to move Applegate from the race lead back to 2nd here, and how much he's already grown that lead. 2.5 seconds now between the 6 and the 57, but Jordan Hand making some moves. Now back around the 9 rider, Noah Blackwell. Back around Landon Burbage. The 75 rider, Kenneth Cheney, though, right there with them now. I'm not sure if there can be a little bit of bump in, a little bit of push in here. I know Cheney's going for the race lead, or potentially for the race win, where he would want to be in front of this 1 ride of Jordan Hand, but maybe courtesy here, maybe not going to put the pressure on the back bumper of the 1 ride, ruin his opportunity at the championship this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see, as I know the 75 wants to find his way into victory lane, but maybe they can work together. Maybe Cheney, now let's try to draft, maybe help try to push this 1 ride a little quicker to the front of the field, as he is on the move. He is trying to hunt down our race leader here, as last time around ran about 0.6 of a second quicker than Brian Underwood, so he is running quicker, as we do see Dylan Carrier work his way down through 4, and he's able to make the pass on Grant Applegate. Applegate slides back into 3rd. Dylan Carrier, before this race, he called this shot, says, I'm going for the win, and here he is running in 2nd. He's also trying to hunt down our race leader, but there's 2.7 seconds between himself and Brian Underwood. It's a pretty good gap here between 1st and 2nd on the Speedway. 2.7 seconds, and we did see that gap 4.5 seconds between Jordan and Brian Underwood. Hand is closing the gap, though. He is still running quite better lap times. Those fresh tires might be starting to pay off here for the number 1 ride. And even if Cheney gets around him, he doesn't have to worry about the 75. He can let that 75 go, pick up the race win, try to get up there to Brian Underwood and make Underwood burn up his equipment a little bit earlier, or maybe make Underwood get bent out of shape there. As Matthew Wood, you see him back here behind these guys in that 13th position now. Unfortunately, he's seeing his championship dreams slowly fade away from him here once again this afternoon. Making that mistake, getting into the outside fence, having that damage, and having to make another green flag pit stop. Wood finds himself a lap down and scored back in 13th, and his opportunity to pick up the championship here this afternoon maybe fading away in a quick hurry. As here you go, Applegate gonna pull down to the inside. He saw Jordan Hand and Kenneth Cheney coming in a quick hurry. He moves down and out of the way as they blow right on by him. Jordan Hand now back up into 3rd. Did Hand get the strategy right? Did he play his cards perfectly here this afternoon? We'll have to wait and find out, as there's 8 laps left to go. The gap is now 3.3 seconds between Underwood and Jordan Hand. Last time around, it was about 0.4 of a second that Jordan Hand was quicker than our race leader. My calculations, 0.4 every single lap. That is going to be 4 laps over 10. I don't know. He's going to be able to make up quite a bit of time here. Almost, he may be able to get there, chat. We'll have to wait and see if the tires can hold up for this number 1 machine, if he can hunt down our race leader. The gap is down to about 3.10 seconds, so he gained about 0.4 there again, right around that 0.4 marker. What's he going to need, though? He's going to need at least, what, 4, 8, 12, 16, Oh man, he's going to need 5 or 6 laps to probably still close the gap, and that's kind of right on that last lap area. Is down across the line this time. Our race leader, Brian Underwood, will see 6 more laps left to go here for the 6th ride. He's got the championship in his grasp. He can almost taste it. He's got 6 more laps left to go. 5.5 down the back straightaway, and the gap is 2.8 seconds between himself and Jordan Hand. Now are the tires starting to balance out here? Was Underwood maybe trying to save a little bit right there, knowing that Hand is trying to catch him, but there's a big gap. Maybe give him a little bit, give him a little taste of it, and then take it away here in these closing laps. There's 5 more laps left to go here in our championship. Underwood looking for the win, looking for the championship here this afternoon. Gap is 2.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds here, 5 laps left to go. Jordan Hand's going to need more than half a second a lap. If he wants to catch Underwood, he's going to need it. He's going to need it in a quick hurry here. 2.5 seconds, he's going to need more than that here. As down across the line will be 4 more laps left to go. If Brian Underwood can continue to run this pace, if Jordan Hand can't find anything extra out of that one ride, it's going to be Brian Underwood who will have enough time and enough of a gap between himself and the one machine to potentially put himself into victory lane in picking up our championship here this afternoon. It is 2.3 seconds down the bank straightaway. I'm not sure if Hand's going to have enough time. Hand may not have the speed or the tires left in this number 1 machine to hunt down Brian Underwood late in this race. It is still 2.3 seconds. He couldn't gain anything down through 3 and 4 as Underwood down across the line. 3 more laps left to go. 3 more laps left here for the 6th machine of Brian Underwood to do what he thought may have been impossible here this afternoon. In that is pick up the championship here again in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Jordan Hand in tow, but he didn't gain anything on this lap, barely anything on this lap, as it's still 2.2 seconds the gap between first and second here on the Speedway. Jordan Hand sees his championship driving out in front of him. He's trying to reach out to grab it. He just cannot grasp it. Here comes Grant Applegate down pit road. Applegate comes down pit side. A heartbreaker there for Applegate. A green flag pit stop this late in the race. He is out of it. He cannot win it. It's down to Underwood and Jordan Hand. As Brian Underwood down through corner number 3 and out of 4. This time down the start-finish line. It is our final white flag of the season. Championship on the line, the 6th ride out in front, coming up big when he needed to, and he has a 2-second lead between himself and Jordan Hand. He's only got a lead of half a lap here. 2 more corners, and Underwood could find himself picking up the checkered flag in the championship here this afternoon. For the final time here this season, rounding corner number 4, it's the 6 of Brian Underwood, who's able to get the championship here this year with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Brian Underwood, our champion and race winner here this afternoon in our series finale. What a run and what a drive. Underwood called himself the underdog earlier this afternoon, and here he is pulling off the miracle. What he thought may have been impossible, the championship, the win here at Las Vegas, as he cashes in and picks up the dub. A big hit right there between him and Matthew Wood. Does Matthew Wood maybe feel he got burnt here? Was there contact? We didn't quite see what happened to the 6th ride. We did see he was up and into the fence, had to come down pit side. Oh, brother, what may have happened here? Was there contact between Matthew Wood and the number 6 ride, Brian Underwood, that forced Matthew to give up his championship hopes here this afternoon? Let's take a look back and see what happened, if there was contact between the number 16 and the number 6 ride here on the racetrack to give that right rear damage on this car. Let's take a look, and it definitely looked like it right there. This is why we saw the number 16 smoked the 6th ride down pit road before Underwood was able to celebrate his championship. There's the contact. You see Matthew wheel in that car, trying to save it, trying to keep it out of trouble, and that's where he gets up and into the outside fence. That's what unfortunately took him back down pit side under the green flag, and that's what took away his championship opportunity here this afternoon. Now, I don't know if he was going to be able to hold off Underwood or put himself into victory lane here this evening or not. He definitely felt like he had the car and the opportunity to do it, and seeing that opportunity taken away from him right there as contact between the 6 and the 16. A little bit of a bump and run, and unfortunately, late in this race, that contact taking Matthew out of contention here this afternoon, and that is a tough break. But Underwood, I don't know if he's going to feel bad about it or not. He knows that he got the job done. He was able to have that mission accomplished and pick up the championship. So that's going to be very, very interesting. As Tom says, looks like the 6 might have washed up into the 16. Oh, he definitely washed up into the 16. That is for certain. And we're going to hear all about it as we get ready to pull in not only our race winner, but our champion here this year. As hey, it's Kev, our boy, Mr. Ryan Haller, coming in showing the love. Says top 10 finish to finish the season. Yes, Sirski, let's go. That's what I want to see. Is he says, I want to thank the league for having me. Thank you to you for the broadcast all season and most of the fans. See you all next season. We'll get the first dub soon. Number 99. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Ryan. Once again, man, another great run, another great race, another great way here to finish off the season. As I've been telling, man, I've been telling everybody, you've been coming on strong here, man. I don't know if you figured something out or if you changed something up, but you continue to get faster and faster and faster, man. I think you're impressing a lot of the drivers in this league, and I think they know that that dub is coming here in a quick hurry. Unfortunately, did not come here tonight in our season finale as our race winner, Brian Underwood, and our champion, waiting down pit side. Let's pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Brian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Ryan, brother, you are the champion here this year of the Premium Stock Car Racing League, man. How does it feel knowing that all the hard work, all the long nights, all the tough drives here throughout the year pay off as you pick up the championship here in Las Vegas?
Honestly, I got mixed emotions. Excited that I was able to pull it off. Don't like how I got it. I feel like me and Wood would have had a good battle there, and I felt like I was better on the long run. And just probably too aggressive on the move, but I mean, it's a championship race. I was getting blocked pretty hard all race. So I was just trying to make something happen, get him to mess up, and when I went in turn 1, I just hit the bumps, and it shot me all the way up. And then probably also had a shot. But yeah, I mean, it's great to pull off a win on the last race. I didn't have a lot of confidence, like I said in the pre-race interview. I felt like I picked it up towards the about halfway point on saving tire and just having something at the end of the runs, because I knew that was going to be our strategy this race. I figured it was a go green. So, yeah, it's just mixed emotions. I'm excited. Feel bad for Wood, but I don't know, the way people are racing me, they might have done the same thing to me. So, try to be positive about it.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, that's part of racing here, man. Every single race that we see in NASCAR, if there's a win on the line, I mean, a lot of these guys, including yourself or, Matthew or any of our other competitors out there on the racetrack, championship or not, man, would probably put their mother in the wall to pick up a win. And not only to pick up the win, but to be able to pick up the championship. So much on the line here for you tonight in this one. We saw the frustration out of Matthew late in this one as you were headed down pit road. He came in and slammed into the back end of that beautiful number 6 ride here this afternoon. Definitely hurting that championship winning car. But take us through that incident again here and what might have been said there afterwards between you and Matthew in that contact.
You mean after pit road or after the initial incident?
Probably either or.
Either or, I'll do both. There was really nothing said on either. I knew he was going to do something after the race. I mean, I probably would too. But yeah, the communications were pretty quiet. I haven't really got a chance to reach out to him yet, but I don't know if that's be a today type scenario. But yeah, it was pretty quiet. The team was just talking to me to keep my head focused because I was pretty down. Uh, I don't like racing that way, and I don't like taking wins that way. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely tough contact, tough break right there for Matthew and for yourself, obviously, getting tied up into that issue. And then, luckily enough, though, having some good teammates, keeping your head in the game, able to keep yourself focused there late in this race, as you did see Jordan Hand trying to close that gap, trying to hunt you down to see if he can try to steal this win away from you in the championship late in this race. But you're able to keep that gap, able to keep your foot in the throttle and keep this car under control to get it done here in this one, man. Take us through some of those late laps, hoping to not see a caution flag and hoping to keep that gap and seeing that #1 ride continue to fall off back there behind you.
Yeah, I knew Hand, he was clicking like 3 to 4 tenths a lap. I knew there was a good chance he was going to catch me at the end of that run there. I was just trying to make sure I didn't overdrive turn 1 because those bumps send you straight in the wall, and there goes the second or two. So, yeah, it was just I was looking at my relative almost every turn, just kind of see where I was at. And yeah, Hand, he's really good at saving tires too, all season. So when it comes to late races like this, and he's normally the one who will stay out the longest and use the fresh tires to play offense, and usually does pretty well at it. I was just lucky enough to have a good enough buffer between us to hold it off.
Absolutely, that big buffer, the good gap there between yourself and obviously Jordan Hand, keeping him back there at bay as you're able to finish this one off and pull yourself up here into victory lane. And now I do believe this is not your first championship. This is actually your second championship, I do believe, in the series, man. How does it feel to know that you're a two-time champion here in the series?
No, this is my first.
Is it your first?
Josh, he won season 2. But yeah, this is my second overall championship. I won another one in WSCRL. So, yeah, it's just nice to win a race, let alone a championship. Adds sugar on top.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Brian, a great run and a great try by you here this afternoon. Not only being able to pick up the win, but being able to pick up that championship, being crowned the 2024 champion here of the Premium Stunt Car Racing League. We would like to thank for such a great job here tonight, but not only just tonight, all season long, as you are hunting down this championship right from the first green flag right down to this final checkered flag, and you're able to come out on top.
I mean, there's a lot, and this is the last one for the year, so this might be a little bit lengthy, maybe. Gotta thank you. You put on a great product. Looking forward to next season in maybe February, early or late January. Then also gotta thank my teammates like Josh, Ben Gleason, Brookover, Chris Getz, Connolly. I mean, all the group of guys that we have in our chat during the race makes it fun. And all the drivers that show up every week. We've had a really good core group of guys that show up week in, week out. They help the league. I mean, car count's one of the top priorities in a league. If you're having under 10, nobody's gonna want to do it. So I'm appreciative. Everybody shows up every week. Gotta thank our sponsors. We've had Dylan. He's sponsored all season long. Noah and Gaston with their sponsor, with their paint schemes and all the promotions they run. And then ultimately, like I said, it's a group effort in prior interviews, and I appreciate all of it.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. It's a village to make something like this happen, and everyone coming together and putting together such great races week after week after week, man. It's a super fun series. If there's anyone that's looking to maybe get in on the action, want to become part of the Premium Stock Car Racing League, and get a hold of myself or Mr. Brian Underwood as well, or look up the, I believe you guys have a Facebook page as well that they can find and try to get in there and get the information to be able to join the league and join the fun here and potentially trying to beat this number 6 ride next season for another championship.
All right.
Well, Brian, a great run, a great drive here tonight, man. Huge congratulations again, as it was a hell of a lot of fun watching you race after race out there on the Speedway, man, and being able to see you finish it off with the championship here this evening. No better way, no better winner here on the year than yourself to be able to pick up this championship. And we're super happy to be up here making the calls and being able to see how you involved throughout this season and becoming our champion here this year. And we can't wait to see you back out there in a couple months or a few short weeks and back into the action for our next season.
All right, y'all have good end of the year, and we'll look forward to next year.
Absolutely, brother. Brian, enjoy the rest of your night, and this time, do party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Oh, I got work early, so that's not happening.
All right, well,
good.
don't party too hard then.
All right.
All right, see you, mister. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner and our champion, Brian Underwood. Underwood picking up that championship, picking up that win. What a run, what a drive here this afternoon for himself as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. Our second place driver, unfortunately waiting down pit side, not up here in Victory Lane, not picking up the championship, coming up one spot shy in both of them. It's Jordan Hand. Hand coming home here in second, not only in this race, but coming home in second in the championship fight this afternoon. We'll pull Jordan up here into the booth. Hey Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Yeah.
Jordan, brother, we were hoping to see you up here, maybe getting that race win, maybe getting that championship. Unfortunately, you fall one spot shy in both of them as you come home here in position number 2. But we saw you there throughout this final run, making some different strategy calls, run a little longer out there on the racetrack, hoping to use those fresher tires to your advantage. And you're hunting down that 6th ride, trying to catch up to him, trying to take that win and the championship away. Fortunately, not enough time. You come home one spot shy here, man. Take us back throughout this race and what's going through your mind right now down pit road and not up here in Victory Lane.
Man, I mean, overall, it was a good race, man. I can't complain. I mean, there's some great racing between me, Brian, and Matthew. There was instances like in that tire. I don't know if it was the first stage with Matthew. We had good runs, and then fighting Brian off for that second stage was a blast. And I mean, I felt good, honestly. I felt like there when we came off pit road, I feel like Brian just kind of was just trying to hurry him get back to Matthew because Matthew pitted before all of us, so he had a little bit of a gap between us. And I seen that he was kind of pushing it, so I thought, I'll pull back a little bit, save tire, and go that route. But it didn't work out very well. But I thought staying out later like that would have worked, and I think, honest to God, it probably was going to work. But I didn't know something happened between Matthew and Brian. I think if they would have got to fighting, I think I definitely would have got there. There at the end, I closed that gap. I think it was like 1.5 seconds. So definitely if Brian and Matthew would have raced a little bit there, I think I could have got to the back of them. And at least I think with the fresh tires, I think I could have got them. Because once you start pushing, it's pretty tough out there. But overall, man, I can't complain too much. It was fun. I want to give him his flowers. Brian deserves it. He's a great racer. I mean, him have had a couple run-ins this season over netcode, so I do feel bad over that. But any of the 4 guys tonight could have won it. I would have been happy. All 3 of the guys are great drivers, good guys, and so I can't be too upset.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just always a tough pill to swallow knowing that you're right there after so many laps, so many races, so many ups and downs throughout the season, and you come up just that little bit shy of the championship here this afternoon. But man, you put on a great run and a great show for us, man. We saw you lead a lot of laps, picking up that second stage win, and looking strong here all evening long and fighting tooth and nail right down to the final checkered flag here this year. Jordan, we'd like to thank for not only a great run and great performance here tonight, but so many great runs and great performances here throughout the season.
Definitely want to thank my friends, family, and I want to thank Brian and Josh for putting on a good league and all the guys that come out and race with us. So we got a great group of guys here, and also thank you for putting on a good show on the broadcast. And damn it, man, believe it or not, this is 3 seasons in a row in PSCRL. I have finished second. It is tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. I can't lie, but I get to go out here and have a good time with friends, and that's all I can ask for, man.
Absolutely, brother. Well, hopefully next season we'll see you back out there on the racetrack. Hopefully this time not stake mitten in this final race of the season, and maybe we'll finally see it get that championship in season 4. But man, a heartbreaker here this afternoon, but a huge congratulations on, such a great season, such a great run week after week, man, and being that close to being able to, taste victory, almost taste that championship. But coming up that one spot shy, man, huge congratulations on your accomplishments here this year, and as I said, can't wait to see you back out there for season 4.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Jordan. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Jordan Hand. His hand comes home in position number 2 here this afternoon. A tough break there for that number 1 ride, as not only does he come home in that second spot in the race, but he loses the championship there. The guy out in front was part of the championship for, and unfortunately beat him across the line and took the win and the championship away from Jordan here this afternoon. Now, I didn't know that. That is the 3rd time in 3 seasons here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League that Jordan Hand has come home in 2nd place in this championship. So not the first time he's been in this position, but the 3rd time. And that's kind of, Denny Hamlin-ish or Mark Martin-ish, drivers in NASCAR that have had so many great seasons, so many great crews and runs and everything else. And, being right there in those championship hunts, seeing it fade away in those final races or the final race itself and not being able to pick up that championship. We might have to put Jordan Hand right into that conversation there with Hamlin and Mark Martin and so many other talented drivers that were never able to get that championship. As Jordan comes home there in position number 2, we'll get ready to pull in our 3rd place finisher here on the evening, and then we'll pull in our other 2 competitors here for the championship. As Kenneth Cheney coming home in position number 3, we'll get ready to pull him up here into the broadcast booth. As Kev says, running with these guys have taught me a ton. Congrats to Brian. Good win. Good job to the championship guys for a good race. Good race, Brian. Yeah, absolutely, GR. Good race there to Brian. And definitely a heck of a run by all 4 of our championship drivers. Chris Kent says, great job on the broadcast all season. I appreciate that, Chris. Chris coming in showing the love here in this one. And Jimmy 6 times says, thank you to everyone who watched and supported us all season. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are right here, fans in the stands, everyone that tunes in and watches these drivers week after week after week after week, man, give yourselves a round of applause, man. It's not only a huge thank you to myself being a part of the Peacemaker family, but being a part of the the Premium Stock Car Racing League, man, means the world not only to me, but all these drivers and all these other fans in the stands, man. So huge round of applause to everyone that comes in and shows the love week after week after week and watches these drivers, put their hard work and their blood, sweat, and tears into the series. Saints Cam says, Nightman, I'll try to make it to some of your other streams. I'm in the Outcast Racing League, but I can't make it Sunday much. Hope to see you again in January. Yes, Sirski. Yes, sir. Mr. Holler, we'll be there. We'll be ready to see you back out there on the racetrack, my dude. Have yourself a very, very wonderful holidays and a good little break here before our next season gets underway. As we'll get ready to pull in our 3rd place driver, Kenneth Cheney. Cheney waiting down pit side. Let's pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Kenneth, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes. Hello.
Kenneth, man, a very solid run, a very solid drive here by the 75 ride all evening long. Now, we haven't seen you out there on the racetrack very much here this year, but you hop in for the season finale, and you're able to, push the subject here a little bit, man. You're right there in the mix, breaking up some of our top 4 championship drivers and trying to pick up a win here this afternoon yourself. Unfortunately, come up a couple spots shy, but being right there in position number 3 and being able to pick up a solid podium finish tonight, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels good to come back and, get a top 3 out of this tonight. But yeah, I was just trying to stay out of the, the guys battling for a championship out of their way as much as possible, for sure. So.
Absolutely. Now, how much difference does that make if you were just to hop in for a race like this, middle of the season compared to this final race of the season? Do Do we see you push the subject a little bit more? Do we see you make those moves and maybe trying to get around Jordan Hand there on that final run a little sooner, or try to hunt down Brian Underwood yourself and leave Jordan back there in the dust? As I know you had a couple fresher tires and potentially a faster car than him late in this race. Does it, how hard is it to race around these guys knowing that there's so much on the line?
No, yeah, 100%. It's really hard, especially when you know that, like you said, it's the final race of the season. They're battling for a championship. I'm just some random guy, coming in. Yeah, I mean, if it was just like a middle of the season race, though, like I definitely would have 100% made a move earlier, because I definitely felt like I was faster than Jordan, but I didn't want to slow us both up and then have it make it harder for him being in second for the championship at that moment. Try to track down Brian if he still had a shot, but yeah, it's just it's just tough in those deals for sure. So
yeah, definitely a tough break right there for you, and definitely interesting to see how you had to handle everything throughout the afternoon, but you're still able to finish it off with a very solid run here as you park the 75 ride up here on the podium in our season finale here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kenneth, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great drive here in this one?
Yeah, just thank you to the Brian and Josh letting me race tonight. And just thank you for Dylan and Matthew, a couple guys. I was just watching their lines, throughout the race, and they're kind of helping me out, so to get a little bit quicker. So yeah, just thank you.
Beauty. Well, Kenneth, a great run, a great drive here in this one. Hopefully we'll see you out there more in the action next season, and maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better, and seeing that 75 ride find its way into victory lane in season 4.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Kenneth Cheney as he comes home in position number 3. A great run and a solid drive there for the 75 ride here this afternoon. As we'll get ready to pull in our 3rd finalist of the championship here, Matthew Wood. Wood coming home in 12th. Applegate, unfortunately, with that late race pit stop, he ends up back in 14th. So Wood officially our 3rd place finisher here in the championship. Obviously going to be pretty upset. So if there's any foul language, let's get a big disclaimer up there right now that hopefully we don't have to worry about any of that language or anything else here, as we're going to get ready to pull Matthew up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew, brother, we saw the contact. We saw how this race unfolded for you, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind right now after another season of missing out on that championship here at Las Vegas?
I don't know. It's just typical over racing. You have again like a 400-point lead, and a guy with about 500 points behind you can win it by wrecking you. So yeah, I don't know. Brian's messed up the lobby about probably 1,000 times, and worst example of that is way back at Kansas. Forgets to turn off our fast repairs, so people are going to abuse that, and then he gives us no overtimes and screws me out of a win, and it messes up the point situation and all that. So, and that's not the only thing. There's hundreds of others that I can tell you about, but this is what I get for racing clean. He goes over the bumps and just completely takes me out, doesn't lift, and takes me out. So, I'm not coming back next season anyway. I probably wasn't going to, but I'm not coming back next season anyway because I won too much. If that tells you how my season's been. I've had a good racing season, but I was probably going to hold him off, and he didn't like that. So, takes me out, and I don't know. I just raced clean, and last Friday I got Austin Dillon in the final corner after a guy that I've raced clean all year decided to full throttle me once, pump me up, and I guess that wasn't enough, so he wrecks me and comes down, takes out third in himself, and lets my rival win it, and that almost cost me a chance to get into the next round. So in that league, I don't know. I race everybody as clean as I can. And when I make mistakes, I say I'm sorry, and I guess either that's going to change or I'm going to have to get off iRacing. It's one of the two.
Yeah, definitely a tough situation there for you, man. Obviously feeling pretty upset, pretty gutted after having another good run, another good race, and a potential win in championship here in this one. Escape your fingertips here this afternoon, and as he had to come back down pit side, we saw the contact there after the race there to the back bumper of Underwood, clearly showing the frustration there from that hit that you took after Ryan gets into you there. He felt really bad. He felt gutted about it. But, take us through kind of that incident and what was going through your mind there as things were unfolding on the racetrack and your season was falling apart.
I don't know. I felt good, and then I knew once he got to my inside that I was going to have to give him room, so I gave him as much room as I could. I was kind of hold it up top. I was even going to go a little bit higher, but I thought he could hold it down there, and I figured he'd do that, but I didn't think it'd be that early. But I mean, I wasn't in the least bit surprised. This always happens to me. Yeah, I'll never win a league championship, and that's plain and simple. Unless I can do it on my Friday night series, which that'll be tough to do. But if I can't win it there, then I'm not gonna win one, and that's just plain and simple. With stuff like this happening, I've raced for 4 years now. I did Heat 5 and all that because that's where we all were apparently before iRacing. I raced like 8 seasons, and I dominate each season and either get wrecked or put in the wall or something stupid would happen. The game would glitch. That happened. Kick me out of the server. They wouldn't restart it. Every time I'd either get wrecked or a game glitch would cost me it. So I'm used to it. It sucks, but I don't know how I really want to congratulate Brian, but he's made it very difficult to appreciate it.
All right, well, Matthew, man, a heartbreaker here, man. All of our hearts break for you, man. A tough one here tonight, but throughout the season, a lot of wins, a lot of ups, not a whole lot of downs until tonight. But who would you like to thank for such a great run and great season and great effort again here this afternoon and all season long?
The team for being there, for Noah for making my paint, Brian for making this miserable, and you for what you've been doing all year. But thank my family for being there for me. I've kind of wasted their money on this setup and everything, but it is what it is. The Lord's given me the opportunity, and I've done it. Thank Him.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Matthew, I would say have a great rest of your night, but I'm sure this one is going to sting for quite a while, brother, and hopefully we'll see you back out there on the racetrack in either this league or another league or anywhere out there, man. We just hope to see you still rolling out there on the Speedway and picking up wins and doing what you do best out there on the racetrack. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Matthew Wood. Is Wood, unfortunately, coming home in third here tonight in the championship, all the way back in the 12th position. Fortunately, after that contact, had to come down pit road, get that car repaired. Ends up a couple laps down and back in the 12th position. And now another driver that ran into some late race issues was Grant Applegate. Now I do believe Grant is in the Discord, so we will be able to pull Grant up here into the Discord channel as well and see his thoughts after this championship battle and coming home in the 4th position in our championship here this year. Let's pull Grant up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Yes, sir.
Grant, brother, a lot of swings, a lot of hits, a lot of misses here throughout the season, but the biggest miss comes up here tonight, man. What transpired out there, man? We saw you running a couple different strategies, trying to short pit, trying to long pit out there, and unfortunately here at the end, we see you come back down pit side after seeing Underwood and Jordan Hand get around you, and the car continue to fall off there late in the race.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back to stage 2. I mean, you sit there and you watch stage 2. That's how the end of this race should have played out. I was out front. I was I had a short run car. I knew that going into the race. So I knew I needed to be out front, get as big a gap as possible. Then it bleeds off into the end of the run. But based off my math that I did beforehand, if I don't screw up and hit the wall like I did in stage 2 and got damaged, which was my own fault, obviously, but based on the math, if I do what I did in stage 2 3 times in the final stage, because that's how many laps it was going to be, the run length was going to be the same. So if I did that 3 times in a row, I would have won the race. And I got in the wall, got damaged, lost my track position. That was the first problem. Then the second problem is I get to racing people, and I just want to ride in 4th place, and they just won't let me do it. They're just trying to race me for 4th place as if, I don't know. I wouldn't race people the way I was raced tonight. Like, if I was not in the championship, I wouldn't even think of racing the championship guys. But other people didn't see it that way, and I understand racing's racing, and it's just, this is me complaining and all that. But I don't know. I'm upset about how it went because, again, stage 2, perfect example of I could have easily won. I mean, it showed I had the speed to go out front, and if I didn't make the mistakes, they wouldn't have caught me before pit stops. So I don't know. Just upset, obviously. And then, like you said, we get to stage 3, and before we even make the first pit stop, I'm 4 seconds behind because I got people racing like they're racing for the lead for 4th, 5th, 6th place right in front of me. And like, I'm trying to run for a championship. I cannot get damage at that. So I'm not just going to sit there because there's no point in me trying to pass them, get damage, and then my race is over. So just sat behind them, basically, hoping somebody would move. They didn't. So I lost 2 seconds at the start of the stage, just trying to ride and not being allowed to. And then lost another 2 seconds right at the end before pit stops from people racing and me just not trying to get involved. So I just needed to not screw up in stage 2 and get damage and put myself in that position. So obviously, at the end of the day, it comes to me, but I don't know. Stage 2 proves I could have won the race, so it's ultimately my own fault for getting in the wall, getting damage, and losing the track position.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw the track position there on that pit stop as you came down pit road. You were right there in the thick of things inside the top 3, battling there for, the stage 2 win. And then, we see all of a sudden you come out of pit road all the way back there in 11th. And a tough spot is you have so many talented drivers there around you to start that 3rd stage. You obviously trying to just work yourself through some of that traffic, trying to get back up towards that top 5, and then obviously running into more struggles, obviously giving up all that time, having to battle there with some of the drivers that aren't part of the championship, and then having that big of a gap kind of build between yourself and our race leaders. When you do make that strategy call, when you start to make those green flag pit stops, obviously it just didn't quite work out for you here in this one, as we were able to see obviously Matthew Wood and Underwood get around you there, and Jordan Hand and them on you down there is unfortunately just quite a bit older tires than those guys on the Speedway at the time, and not a big enough gap to use it to your advantage like Brian did there late in the race over top of Jordan Hand.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy at the end was to take pit early and hope caution comes out. If caution comes out, then I'm first, and we all pit for tires, and then I'm back in the lead, and I can do what I did in stage 2 and just drive away. But obviously, caution doesn't come out, so then I'm just kind of in no man's land on bad strategy, just trying to hold on. And then at the very end of the race, I just, coming to 2 to go, figured if I'm on pit road and a caution comes out before the leader gets to the line, then again, I cycle to the front. But again, no caution ever happened. So I don't know. I tried everything I could other than just not screw up when I had the lead in the track position. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to. Said before the race, consistency is all that matters, and the one mistake I made early or late in stage 2 is what caused me to not have a chance at even a championship.
Definitely a tough one right there, Grant. But with all the good things that have came out of the season, all the bad things here, and this one, obviously, this one's gonna sting for quite a little while. Knowing that you had that opportunity to pick up the championship, that you're right there in the thick of things. Unfortunately, not being able to get this one done, but you gotta have your chin up, man. A great, solid performance throughout majority of this race, and a very fast hot rod here again tonight and throughout the season, picking up a bunch of wins, having some great finishes and some great runs here, and definitely some good markers to go off of for next season when Season 4 comes just around the corner. But, man, who would you like to thank for a good run, a solid performance here this afternoon all season long?
I don't know. You thank the people who put the show on. You thank the people who are in your party with you, but I just so disappointed in myself. I don't want to thank nobody, I just can't at the moment. I thanked them all year, so same people I've thanked all year. Just, I don't know. I don't know. Disappointed is all I got to say.
Well, that pretty much sums it up right there, Grant. Unfortunate break for you here this evening, man, but we cannot wait to see you back out there next season, and hopefully we'll see you right back in the mix of things and maybe putting yourself into the same situation and maybe turn the tables and getting it done there in Season 4. But, Grant, enjoy the rest of your evening as much as you can, and can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack, brother. Tough luck, tough break here in this one. Our hearts are with you, and hopefully, the Christmas holidays and the bit of a break from being behind the wheel will, ease the pain a little bit.
I mean, it won't, but you can always hope.
Absolutely, brother. Grant, enjoy the rest of your
afternoon. The thing I can be happy about is, I don't know if the schedule's made yet, but from what I've seen, I might know what the final race is. And if the final race is the race I think it is, I should have a better chance than I did tonight. So we'll see what happens.
All right, brother. Well, we look forward to it.
Thank you.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Grant Applegate. As Applegate coming home fourth in our championship battle here tonight. You can hear the disappointment there in his voice and the words that he was speaking. Definitely not very happy about how things played out here this year. As Brian coming with the heart reaction. Give me 6 times. Come on now. It's too soon, Josh. Too soon, brother. That was too soon, okay? Don't bring Jesus into this too soon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, brother. That's hilarious. As, unfortunately, Dylan, no, you don't get an interview for coming home in 4th, okay? You don't get participation awards, okay? I know that was your generation with the Gen X or Gen Z or whatever the heck it is, man. You guys don't get participation awards. I'm just kidding, brother. Good run. Good race for the 88 ride as well, especially after dealing with that early race contact yourself into the outside fence. So good to see you be able to rebound and keep that car up inside the top 5. Same with Landon Burbage as well. But, man, what a run, what a drive, what an absolutely amazing season here for the entire Premium Stock Car Racing League, man. We saw so many great races, so many tight battles and door-to-door action, man. And, there was definitely a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of upset drivers throughout the season as well. And, some have went and came back, and others have left and not come back. And hopefully we can just get everyone together again and try all over again for season number 4 and just make it bigger, better, and everything else in every aspect, and just continue to grow the series, continue to grow the league, and continue to see not only the league itself but all the drivers that show up and battle and race in the series flourish and continue to get better and better week after week after week. And I can't thank the Premium Stock Car Racing League enough for having me up here, making the calls, being up in the booth, and being able to bring you guys all the action here and being, the voice of the series and being able to put on these amazing broadcasts for each and every single one of you guys to enjoy and to have some fun and to be able to watch your favorite drivers, your friends, your family, or anybody in here to enjoy some great racing action here throughout this season. We can't wait to get back with these guys and start up season 4 here. And as you heard from Underwood, obviously one of the admins and one of the officials here of the series, man, being able to have that season maybe kick off, beginning of February, end of January, somewhere in that time would definitely be amazing. As Jimmy 6 times, one of our other ones says, see you in February. It'll probably be February, and I'm fine with that, man. But it's going to suck. It's going to suck having, 4, 6 weeks, whatever it may end up being on a Saturday night. I'm going to be bored now, man. I don't leave the house. I don't do anything, man. So it's going to feel different having Saturday nights off. So it's going to be a lot of fun, though, and we can't wait wait to see you guys back in here for the next season. You guys can catch us up here in the booth for all the other series that we put on, as we'll be back in action tomorrow night. We actually got 3 races tomorrow afternoon. So we got the Outcast Racing League at 4. We got the Sling and Dirt Super Late Model Winter Nationals tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, and then at about 8:30 Eastern, we'll be back live again with the Q West Racing League. So lots of racing action, a lot of fun to be had tomorrow afternoon and throughout the rest of December and January and everything else. And I hope to see you guys in here showing the love and just tuning in, hitting the like button, saying hello, popping in here and there, man, and showing the love on the broadcast. But I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in again here tonight and tuning in to all these races, man. All the fans in the stands. We said it earlier. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in, showing the love here throughout this amazing series with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Huge shout out again to our race winner here tonight and our champion, Brian Underwood. Underwood picking up that championship here this evening in a spectacular way to finish this season off, and I cannot wait to see you guys back in here for season number 4. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all later. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Engines roar like a beast. Cheering crowd can't sit still. Rubber burns on concrete. Fight for glory, thrill to kill. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips count down slow. Wing cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. With all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wing cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Adrenaline rush we crave. Pushing past edges brave. Life in fast lane feeding fire. Tracks our only true desire. Helmet on focused eyes. Crowds roar reaches skies. Pit stop seconds to spare. In this war no place for care.